Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is the thug life? Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is the thug life, nigga?
back, baby.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah. What? What? Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is a thug life, nigga?
What the fuck I can't ping my own goddamn comment? Alright, we about to get started, y'all. I gotta go to the fucking my live. Quick clean that. Y'all team Thug Life or y'all team NWA? Let me know. Alright, bet we got everything. Boom. Okay, where my other chat box at? Bitch, I know you fucking lying. Hold on, where my other chat box at? Mother. I don't want it to cover that.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is a thug life, nigga?
You said it's not me? What you mean, brother? Damn, I want to put this somewhere else, though, whatever. This shit coming up easy. I don't want to cover it easy. I might just put it right here. Alright, bet. Put my camera on. Say that, what you mean by that, bro?
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is a thug life, nigga?
What's up, brother? How you doing, Slim? You say I don't believe R. Kelly wrote I Believe I Can Fly? Did he write that? I don't believe that shit. I don't know too much about R. Kelly, to be honest. I'm a KC and JoJo person, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it 100. I don't know too much about KC and JoJo. I mean, R. Kelly like that. My favorite R&B is KC and JoJo. KC and JoJo, Jodeci. Not Boys the Man, but what's that name? I can't think of that name right now. You said who is Thug Life? Tupac group. Tupac group before he came with the Outlaws. I'm comparing both of them like NWA. For the people that know about MW, I don't know too much about MWA. But y'all know me, I'm Team Thug Life. You feel me? Say you wrote bangers? Damn, hell foot all the way up. Damn, what the fuck I was doing? I believe I can fly. I only know that song because I watched the Space Jam. I ain't gonna lie. Think about it every night and day. I ain't know R. Kelly when I first heard this. I ain't know that was R. Kelly though. Cause you love Michael Jordan too. All right, let's get so we're gonna do a little bit of NWA. Then we're gonna do Dr. Dre versus Tupac, and then Dr. Dre versus Ice Cube. I think I'm gonna start out with Ice Cube first. For all my new subscribers that haven't seen before.
another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
My boy said they ain't even close, twin. They ain't close, real. He said you did. Hey, I'm fucking with it. We get started though. I'm trying to wait till everybody get in here before I start though. But y'all go ahead and tell, why did NWA fall out? Y'all let me know. Let me know if I find out. Why did they fall out? Before we get started. I'm trying to wait till everybody get in here because I don't want nobody to miss this shit. Fan on, nigga, hot as a motherfucker. I fought Easy because I think Easy was like the realest one out on. To be honest, Easy was really about it. All right, we just gonna start. Shit, fuck it. He said, hold on, y'all. Somebody said, okay, we got one for NWA. Y'all say NWA better? I'm gonna have to goddamn skip some of this shit. I mean, mute some of this shit because they got the goddamn copyright music in it.
Come on. In the mid-1980s, Los Angeles was divided socially, economically, and culturally.
The Crips and Bloods have staked out a significant portion of the cocaine trafficking business in this country.
Hip-hop was still dominated by the East Coast. It was during this moment that Eazy began laying the foundation for what would become the most influential
I know that shit copyrighted damn
music history. Before rap, Eazy was known as a hustler in Compton.
Easy made his money being a street farmer.
Dr. Dre cousin, friend of Ice Cube and Eazy. Okay.
Pharmacist at this point.
By being a street pharmacist, you know how to deal with everybody. You get that lingo, that mentality, and by the weight that you're carrying with them.
I gotta skip that because that shit got too much music in the background.
The Ruthless Records, he started pulling together the people around him who would shape the sound. Dr. Dre was already producing, DJ Yella was working alongside him, and Ice Cube was brought in as a writer and later a performer. At this point, the money was presented.
Just pay me what you
to keep.
And it's mightier than the sword. We were on a Straight Outta Compton tour.
Yeah, too much music in this.
His frustration was already building. The group had helped create Easy Does It, yet Cube felt he wasn't seeing a fair share of the profits. Jerry Heller presented new paperwork, but Cube refused to sign. Before committing to another deal, he wanted transparency, to properly review the contract and understand where the money was going.
We were on a Straight Outta Compton tour, and some of the people from Priority Record came down there with the platinum records, and they came down and they set these $75,000 checks in front of all of us. What's this for? And he was like, okay, this is for, record sales. And
we gotta say Eazy got the best diss song too. He ought to like hit him up and No Vaseline.
Advanced on the next record. So we like, cool. But there was a but on the end of that. But NWA is not a group legally because there are no contracts signed. See, up until then, everything was just verbal on a homeboy level. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And that's it. And this is how we're going to get paid. So Jerry Heller comes in and he goes, yo, you guys are not a group until these contracts are signed. You can't get these checks until these contracts are signed.
Okay.
So seeing $75,000 sitting on the table, we some kids out of Compton. We've seen most at one time, $2,000. So we like, okay, cool. Cube was the only smart one at the time. He didn't sign the contract. They say the pen is mightier than the sword is oh so true. That moment messed us up for a long time.
I was just mad at that dude because he wouldn't give me my contract. I just wanted, let me see it. Let me take it to my people. The normal stuff you do when you get a contract. Of course. And he was like, I don't know, I can't give it to you. You can sign it, but I can't give it to you. So that was shady. And so I had a problem with him.
But you're good with the members.
I was good with everybody. A little mad at E because I felt E wasn't taking the right side. You know, I felt he
was kind of under his
doing enough to keep me in the group. You know, it was kind of like, yo, this is how it is. Yo, you can live with it, or you can get out the group like Arabian Prince. You know, who was go out and be a flop like Arabian Prince. You know,
y'all think Ice Cube was smart at that time? But y'all think Ice Cube was smart not signing the contract? So now I found out what they fell out at. I mean, I got to skip some of this shit because it got that copyright music in the background. But so NWA fell out because they wasn't legally a group. They didn't sign no contract. Okay.
That was his exact quotes, you know, and I was like, damn, that ain't gonna happen, bruh.
From that point, Ice Cube left NWA.
I don't like the manager because he wasn't paying me my money.
That's the bottom line.
Bottom line, that's it. No more NWA. No more NWA questions, please.
Cube was just more business oriented than all of them, and you know, he did it right. You know, hey, I'm not signing nothing.
I caught Jerry Heller, Eazy-E hand in the cookie jar, and I was willing to say, you know, fuck it, I caught y'all, you know, just pay me what you owe me and we can keep on rolling. But, you know, they wanted to save face. They felt like if they paid me, they would have to pay everybody else. And, you know, so they was kind of pretty much like, fuck you, nigga, what you gonna do, go solo?
And that's exactly what Ice Cube did.
Copy music. Fuck.
More than happy with the move, more than happy to really get my career going like I wanted to go, you know what I'm saying? You said 1 million copies later, here we are, it's only 5 weeks into the album, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I can't do nothing but be happy, you know? And some people told me, yo, I made a bad decision, what you think?
When NWA split, different crews went with different people, and, you know, they was in conflict with each other.
This is a fucking Tupac beat.
Album, I didn't diss them at all. I didn't say nothing about NWA. Not even one word about nobody in the group. So for them to come out on they shit, you know, 100 miles and running and diss me, you know, that was their attitude.
He said Tupac was a rainbow while square with Puffy and Biggie, and that's what really caused the issue. Okay.
So you can see her hit him up, and it's like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be.
Cause I ain't a hater like you. Bow down to a killer that's greater than you.
I bow down respectfully, not bow down to them as mean or performance, but as elders.
If you touch the nerve, he'll let you know. And, you know, he was passionate, you know, so he'll let you know.
All you old rappers trying to advance, it's all over now, take it like a man. The West Side Connect thugs, ain't no California love, just California slug.
So y'all go NWA or y'all go Tupac?
Tupac versus Ice Cube. A beef that the majority of hip-hop heads didn't know existed. Two West Coast icons that became friends in the early stages of their solo careers, but grew apart on their way to the top and eventually clashed due to a misunderstanding. The first time the two met was on tour in 1990, when Tupac was a part of the group Digital Underground. He was a huge fan of Ice Cube, who at that point in time had left his group NWA to pursue a solo career. This was shortly after he dropped his solo debut album America's Most Wanted, which was one of Tupac's favorite albums. The two clicked instantly the moment they met, and became great friends. Pac was very humble, and Cube was very respectful, treated him like a little brother. For Cube, he was just a fun little dude with a lot of energy.
Nobody had more fun on tour than Pac. He knocking on everybody's door.
Oh, and Hannah.
You sleep? What? Nah, no sleep. No sleep. Nah, come on, man. Get dressed, Cube. Come on, let's go downstairs. You know, he running around with all the energy in the world. You know, we sleep, but he got all the energy in the world.
They hung out, rapped on tours, and freestyled together. Cube was able to watch him grow as an artist.
NWA and Tupac on one song. Oh my God, Lord have mercy. I think they got a couple songs with Ice Cube and Ice Cube. Is that Ice-T? Ice-T and Tupac on one song on his beginning album, I think.
he was rapping and dancing on stage with Digital Underground. Nobody knew who Tupac was. He was just getting started. Pac used to tell him, "This digital ish is cool, man, but I want to do records like y'all. Cause where I live at, ish is effed up." You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about how the ish is. He wanted to stop making those funny little dance songs with his group and focus on more important stuff.
I remember him being a little frustrated, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like, "Cube, I want to make the kind of records y'all make." That's.
I ain't even gonna lie.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
That's it. My bud said Tupac got more hits, y'all. Streaking for my niggas album. That's a real album. I ain't heard that. That's a Tupac album, man. Hold on, let me see. No, I gotta look that shit up. That's a Tupac album? Or that's a Ice Cube or Dr. album? That sounds like a Tupac album though, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it's a Tupac album. I ain't never heard of that. The album go crazy. I ain't never heard this album. Ooh, I gotta buy it. I'm gonna buy this album too. I know they got a album. I'm gonna buy that album. I'm gonna buy that album. Dr. Dre made Easy Payday. Hey, but that little line he said in this song. What he said? Hit him with my left blow. Fuck Snoop. He said, what he say? Fuck Snoop. Fuck Dr. Dre. Here comes my left blow. That nigga killed that shit. That beat hard as fuck, bro. Whoever made that beat?
Give me a hell yeah.
What I'm on. I ain't really on this. Wow. This dancey stuff. He was just doing that just to, kind of, get started, facilitate till he can get and do his own style. So
I was like, well, keep doing your thing. Shock G, he'll see, that you got talent. And
tell him that you need to fulfill yourself as an artist and not just do the
party.
Yeah, the party shit.
Yeah. And then I started to see him get on more digital records, and I was like, okay, Pac is starting to, move up from just being, in the background to actually, doing some songs.
So he had that in him where he wanted to release it, and to just see him grow as an artist to become, damn near like the Marvin Gaye of hip hop, like
So true.
It's just an incredible journey to see.
His solo records became a lot more serious and thought-provoking. Cube was a huge inspiration for Tupac, who had a lot of love and admiration for him. No wonder why Pac's music early on in his career had a heavy focus on politics, social issues facing American society, like racism, police brutality, poverty, black-on-black crime, teenage pregnancy, etc. The topics were somewhat similar to what NWA addressed in their music, even though their styles were completely different. Straight Outta Compton was one of Pac's favorite albums, and so was America's Most Wanted, which introduced the world to the female rapper Yo-Yo, who appeared as a guest on the track It's a Man's World. Ice Cube took her under his wing and produced her upcoming album Make Way for the Motherlode, which dropped the following year. Tupac met her with Cube when he was performing with Digital Underground. Pac and Yo-Yo got very close and even had a relationship in the early 90s. They went on tours together.
I'm gonna stop right there for a minute, cause I want to go back to NWA. Like, I want to listen to more reason why they fell out without the fucking copyright music in the background, bro. God damn, I'm gonna see somebody talk about it. Okay, we got DJ Yellow, one of the members. Okay, I see DJ Yellow. Okay, we're gonna go to DJ Yellow. Ain't got no doubt. Man, like a motherfucker. So I ain't never heard they like the NWA music. So were they really talking about the streets, or they were talking? They had gangs. They were talking about gangs in they songs. Let me know, y'all.
More to society than one gang. About street.
Who is this right here? Chay, who is this? Who is him? Police Lock. Okay, bet. Who is him right here? I know everybody else. I just learned who DJ what's name, Yellow. I just found out who he is. Who this is right here? He can rap. He first round. Dr. First round, you ain't write none of your shit. I don't even. You ain't got no room to talk. You ain't write none of your stuff. You had ghostwriters off the rip. You know what I'm saying? I say Easy wasn't street smart. She tried. She failed.
Stop the cap.
She tried. Here now. Look, she asked that motherfucker boldly too. Hold on, we gotta go back.
Please maintain her.
Not here to preach. We just telling you what's up. So it ain't like we sold out to do the record.
Oh my bad, y'all. I ain't mean to read that shit. NWA only dream every member in that motherfucker could have been Tupac. Nobody in NWA is fucking with Tupac.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
So Tupac they say let's take Thug Life out the situation. They just say NWA, they all together versus Tupac. Who will win? I'm gonna go ahead and scratch Dr. Dre out there because he gonna need Ghostwriter. Easy. I don't know too much about dude on the left and dude on the end of the right. I don't know their rapping styles like that, so I can't really comment on that. I gotta follow her. She hilarious to me. Are you worried about catching something? Yeah, damn. Oh, damn. That shit went straight to Easy. Goddamn. My bad, Easy. Shit, goddamn. Ooh, Lord. Why she speak that in existence? Hold on, tweet. That crazy. She asked that shit, then. You know what I'm saying? She had more Easy. You know what I'm saying? Damn. I can't do it. What is the interview at? In London? Cause I can barely understand that. It's in London. He said he already looked like he was infected. Hold on, let's go back to Dr. Dre. He talking about hell yeah, but you know you don't like women. You know what I'm saying?
About catching something nasty though.
Jimmy hats.
Yeah, Jimmy hats.
Jimmy hat.
Wanna try?
It's Jimmy.
Hold on, I'm going to
Found a lot.
Hey, I gotta look that shit up. Y'all used to call them Jimmy hats back in the 90s? Yeah. Oh no, goddamn late. Don't go up. Hold on, I gotta look this shit up. Jimmy hats. That was a special kind of condom or something? Jimmy. I thought I heard Snoop Dogg say that shit too. Said Jimmy has a urban slang for okay, bet. Alright, it's a slang. What the
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
What the fuck we just walked into? Oh, that's that goddamn doctor shit. You know how you go to the clinic? They give you them goddamn cheap ass condom. It's an 80s thing. That motherfucker got a name on that motherfucker. Ooh, that was the dirty ass condom, man. No, you fucking lying. That shit lit. Oh, the condom looked infected. Fuck no.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas is that shit? What type niggas is thug life, nigga?
Okay. Appreciate y'all put me on. Appreciate y'all put me on. You know what I'm saying? Education class, 1-on-1. You know what I'm saying? Kids, stay safe. You know what I'm saying? What you saying about side? No, that's the motherland. You know what I'm saying? Don't say about I got my South African people that be in my chat. Shout out to the motherland. You know what I'm saying? She about to pee me off. I'm an 80s baby, so I know a lot. Oh, shout out you. Shout out to the 80s, man. I gotta do my 80s hip hop too. I think I'm gonna do Slick Rick verse.
Suppose.
Oh, we got a part 2. Why you fell off Q-Tip? Oh Lord. Why you fell off Q-Tip for? Oh yeah, we gotta see that. He said they got mad because of the Fuck Police song. He said, "Is this real?" What you mean? Is it real? Somebody's interview? Yeah, it's real. I'm trying to think how the goddamn this shit clear as fuck though. This back in the what 1980s. This shit clear as fuck. But you try to find like other interviews on other rappers, that shit be blurry as hell. This shit be blurry as hell. I'm like, God damn, you can't see nothing, twin. That motherfucker had them. Damn, they had them big ass camera. Look at this shit. Damn, girl, what that? PlayStation controller. Damn. Have you had about? Hey, I got a question, y'all. Rest in peace. Easy. Recipe. I got a question. So when y'all used to buy, y'all had to go to the stores to buy the records. Like if you underage, you had to have an ID or something. I want to know. Like say y'all like 10 years old trying to buy a NWA like record. I would have a parent with me or something. Oh, they just let you buy it off the rip. Cause you know they said it was against their music and everything back in the day. So I'm thinking, do you ever have a parent to buy it for you or something? Or kids can just go to the store and buy their records and stuff. What year this was? I don't even know what year that fucking video was.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is the thug life, nigga?
Damn, they got this shit for $5 now. This the bootleg? I know that's the real one. This the bootleg one? That's when everything went to CDs. Happy early 420. Shout out to y'all. Smoke one for me, twin. Damn, but I low-key missed the CD days, but you remember everybody used to have them big-ass CDs, had everything, the movies. I miss damn, did y'all have Blockbuster back in the day? Blockbuster? I miss Blockbuster. I don't know that before y'all time. Shit, rent a movie these days.
Shot.
On her ass. Hold on, though. He on her ass. Hold on.
Reporter. Ain't nobody said nothing to you.
Alright, let's go ahead and get it up, check. These niggas on their ass. they thought they was some dumb niggas. Hell nah. They on their ass, bro. They know the reporters killing me. They don't see no wrong with what they saying. Like y'all report more violence than what we do. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear that.
Go off and come right back with a gun. So
oh shit, let me go back. Nah, little cartoons had little demon symbols and shit in that motherfucker. A lot of people don't know that shit. I ain't know this shit till I got older, but you start to see that shit in cartoons. Motherfucker had like sex in that motherfucker and everything. You be like, what the fuck? Some of my childhood shit I can't even watch no more because I was disgusted about it.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
Appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and you know what I'm saying? Why all the women like to throw women in everything? As a black woman, as a woman, like damn, stop doing that shit. We talking about you. You know what I'm saying? That's the effect when you a black man. That's the effect of black man. You know what I'm saying? They always curious. You know what I'm saying? You know how legend go. You know what I'm saying? We carry big loads. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? He said they were trying to trigger me. Shit, when she said that wouldn't trigger me right. Come on in. Come on, please. Come on. Look, you saw easy eyes jumped up when she said it. Look easy. Look easy eyes.
One would think you've got something rather large hanging under the table, but I can't see anything from here.
But he know what to say. Look. Watch easy. He know what the fuck to say. Look.
I can't see anything from here.
Like no more. They couldn't do nothing with them in the interview. Let's do one more interview. I want to see what Ice Cube said after he left. Ice Cube after he left the group. Did he do an interview? They try. Look, they always trying to with some. They see some black successful men. They always trying to see how y'all funded this shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't they get hello. They got a white man right beside them. You know what I'm saying? A manager who manages shit. You know what I'm saying? If y'all was so curious about this shit, why y'all didn't do Death Row and shit or Bad Boy? They all fun. I heard it was funded by, you know what I'm saying, drugs and shit. Bad Boy and Dr. Dre. I mean, not Bad Boys and Death Row. So I'm gonna start over.
Bow down to a killer that's greater than you.
I bow down respectfully, not bow down to them as mean or performance, but as elders.
If you touch the nerve, he'll let you know.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, he was passionate. You know, so he'll let you know.
All you old rappers trying to advance, it's all over now. Take it like a man. The West Side Connect thugs. Ain't no California love, just California slug.
That was a diss on Tupac too.
Tupac versus Ice Cube. A beef that the majority of hip-hop heads didn't know existed. Two West Coast icons that became friends in the early stages of their solo careers, but grew apart on their way to the top and eventually clashed due to a misunderstanding. The first time the two met was on tour in 1990, when Tupac was a part of the group Digital Underground. He was a huge fan of Ice Cube, who at that point in time had left his group NWA to pursue a solo career. This was shortly after he dropped his solo debut album America's Most Wanted, which was one of Tupac's favorite albums. The two clicked instantly the moment they met, and became great friends. Pac was very humble, and Cube was very respectful, treated him like a little brother. For Cube, he was just a fun little dude with a lot of energy.
What the fuck?
Nope.
Hold on now, we can walk past that shit. What the fuck he got in his head, though, twin? Who told you that shit was cool?
Treated him like a...
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
What you fucking man, play.
Get your ass on, boy. Get your goddamn ass on.
Yeah, goddamn first Soldier Boy right there. That boy Soldier Boy. That first Soldier Boy right there. Who told Flay that shit was cool back in the day? I'm talking about that boy got the slick grease on that motherfucker, twin. I'm talking about, God damn, that motherfucker just up there, twin.
little brother. For Cube, he was just a fun little dude with a lot of energy.
Nobody had more fun on tour than Pac. He knocking on everybody's door.
On Hennessy.
You sleep? What? Nah, no sleep. No sleep. Nah, come on, man. Get dressed, Cube. Come on, let's go downstairs. You know, he running around with all the energy in the world. You know, we sleep, but he got all the energy in the world.
They hung out, rapped on tours, and freestyled together. Cube was able to watch him grow as an artist. He was rapping and dancing on stage with Digital Underground. Nobody knew who Tupac was. He was just getting started. Pac used to tell him, "This digital ish is cool, man, but I want to do records like y'all. Cause where I live at, ish is effed up." You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about how the ish is. He wanted to stop making those funny little dance songs with his group and focus on more important stuff.
I remember him being a little frustrated.
Yeah, because
he's like, Cube, I want to make the kind of records y'all make. That's what I'm on. I ain't really on this, this dancey stuff. He was just doing that just to, you know, kind of, you know, get started.
Hey, what's them old... Hold on, that what that shit remind me of, twin. I ain't gonna lie. Hold on. What's them old school blow dries? Is it a blow dryer? I might be saying. What's the old one? No, it's the old with the stick on that motherfucker. No, what's the old? What's it called? The old school one. It's not this. It's the one with the goddamn. That nigga had like one of the old school blow dryers with what's the little shit they used to have on them? The little stick and comb on it. Damn, with the comb on it. Yeah, this shit right here. gotta go back to it. Hold up. We gotta go back. Hold up. Where it at? Oh shit. We gotta go back. Hold on. We gotta go back to play.
In the world, you know, we sleep, but he got all the energy in the world.
They hung out, rapped on tours, and freestyled together. Cube was able to watch him grow as an artist. He was rapping and dancing on stage with Digital Underground. Nobody knew who Tupac was. He was just getting started. Pac used to tell him, "This digital ish is cool, man, but I want to do records like y'all. Cause where I live at, ish is effed up." You know what I'm saying? A little dude with a lot of
now look at this shit. I know you fucking lying, Flay. Look at this shit and look at this shit. You can't tell me they ain't the same thing. Hell nah. With the blow dry on that motherfucker, that's what that shit look like. Hell nah, I know you fucking lying.
Little dude with a lot of energy.
Nobody had more fun on tour than Pac. He knocking on everybody's door.
On Hennessy.
You sleep? What? Nah, no sleep. No sleep. Nah, come on, man. Get dressed, Q. Come on, let's go downstairs. You know, he running around with all the energy in the world. You know, we sleep, but he got all the energy in the world.
They hung out, rapped on tours, and freestyled together. Cube was able to watch him grow as an artist. He was rapping and dancing on stage with Digital Underground. Nobody knew who Tupac was. He was just getting started. Pac used to tell him, "This digital ish is cool, man, but I want to do records like y'all. Cause where I live at, ish is effed up." You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about how the ish is. He wanted to stop making those funny little dance songs with his group and focus on more important stuff.
I remember him being a little frustrated, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like, "Cube, I want to make the kind of records y'all make. That's what I'm on. I ain't really on this, this dancey stuff." He was just doing that just to, you know, kind of, you know, get started, facilitate till he can get and do his own style. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, keep doing your thing. You know, Shock G, he'll see, you know, that you got talent and shit in here. Tell him that you need to fulfill yourself as an artist and not just do the, you know, the
parties.
Yeah, the party shit.
Yeah.
And then I started to see him get on more digital records, and I was like, okay, Pac is starting to, you know, move up from just being, you know, in the background to actually, you know what I mean, doing some songs. So he had that in him where he wanted to release it, and you just see him grow as an artist to become, you know, damn near like the Marvin Gaye of hip hop, like, you know.
So true.
It's just an incredible journey to see.
His solo records became a lot more serious and thought-provoking. Cube was a huge inspiration for Tupac, who had a lot of love and admiration for him. No wonder why Pac's music early on in his career had a heavy focus on politics, social issues facing American society, like racism, police brutality, poverty, black on black crime, teenage pregnancy, etc.
We gotta get NWA they flowers because they didn't do what they had to do. We probably wouldn't got this side of Pac. You know what I'm saying? Standing up for us and all the black people, you feel me? So we gotta get flowers with this dude.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
The topics were somewhat similar to what NWA addressed in their music, even though their styles were completely different. Straight Outta Compton was one of Pac's favorite albums, and so was America's Most Wanted, which introduced the world to the female rapper Yo-Yo, who appeared as a guest on the track It's a Man's World. Ice Cube took her under his wing and produced her upcoming album Make Way for the Motherlode, which dropped the following year. Tupac met her with Cube when he was performing with Digital Underground. Pac and Yo-Yo got very close and even had a relationship in the early 90s.
This nigga don't miss, bro. Oh shit, what the fuck we went to? This nigga Tupac don't miss, bro. Shit. Nigga gonna be on everybody.
Who appeared as a guest on the track It's a Man's World. Ice Cube took her under his wing and produced her upcoming album Make Way for the Motherlode, which dropped the following year. Tupac met her with Cube when he was performing with Digital Underground. Pac and Yo-Yo got very
y'all gonna see. I'm gonna continue to boat. Y'all gonna see why I don't fuck Tupac, Ice Cube like that, cause what he did to that song that I love to this day.
Close, and even had a relationship in the early 90s. They went on tours together, sometimes with Cube, sometimes without, and Pac was also invited to a birthday party shortly after the movie Boys in the Hood came out, in which Cube plays the character Darren Baker, aka Doughboy. This was Ice Cube's first movie appearance. At Yo-Yo's birthday party, they took pictures together, and she even introduced Pac to her mother. Cube then dropped his sophomore album Death Certificate in 1991, and that same year, Pac released his debut album 2Pacalypse Now, and starred in the movie Juice, which came out on January 17th, 1992. So they both tried to get their rapping and acting careers going, while Cube was higher in status and more respected in both fields at that point in time. The movie director John Singleton then wanted Ice Cube in his movie Poetic Justice with the pop icon Janet Jackson. Cube pressured him to give him the script to find out what the movie was about and didn't like what he was reading. So he asked him to change it, but he refused. John Singleton then decided to replace Cube with Tupac, cause they needed a rapper who was also acting. There weren't too many options back then. Cube was the more successful actor at the time, but the director was impressed by Tupac's acting skills. The movie was filmed between April 14th and July 4th of 1992 and came out on July 23rd, 1993. It became a cult classic and was a good look on Tupac's resume for his acting career. According to Cube, him stepping down from doing the movie helped Tupac to become a movie star. And the reason why he gave up on that movie was because the director refused to change one particular part in the script. The problem was me playing Tupac. I don't think I'd kick my homeboy off the car for a girl I just met when we got to Oakland. I didn't think that was cool. It kinda made...
So they were going to Oakland this whole time. I thought they was already in California. The whole time. Damn, I just found this shit in 2026. I done watched that movie so many times. The whole time they were going, I thought they was already in Cali. Going somewhere in Cali. But they were going to Oakland the whole time. Damn, they crazy. Yeah, I can't see him in no Poetic Justice. Hell nah. I don't think he hit the same though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he turned out Janet Jackson. You crazy. I've been trying to play the movie in Janet Jackson. I try to be her baby daddy. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. I'm trying to be Jackson 7. Jackson 6. So, me and Tito.
The character a sucker to me. The scene Cube appears to be referring to is the one that saw Tupac's character Lucky, which is a mail carrier and aspiring rapper, attack his friend for hitting Janet Jackson's character Justice, who kicked Pac's friend in the groin because he had hit his girl in the face. Pac then beats up his homie and kicks him off the vehicle. Cube hated that character just for that scene alone. Said that the role suits Pac more than him, which could be interpreted as a jab, since Cube called that character a sucker. Why would you say that the role of a sucker suits Tupac? Pac later called himself Sucker for Love on the song Do For Love, which was recorded in 1994 but came out posthumously. It actually landed on the album Are You Still Down, Remember Me, which dropped on November 25th, 1997. So Pac didn't really care about people like Cube making fun of him for being a quote-unquote sucker for love. The question is, why did Cube say that? Because of Pac's superior adaptation skills? Or maybe something similar to that scene happened where Pac ditched Cube for a girl when they...
Hold on, y'all. So, I thought Oakland was in Los Angeles. So, Oakland's like his own separate... I don't know. I thought So, Oakland's not in Los Angeles? No, I ain't never been up to the west side, so I don't know. To the west coast. But Ice Cube, we appreciate you calling Tupac sucker, cause we never got this song, cause that's one of my favorite songs. What would you do for love? Not everything.
Recorded in 1994, but came out posthumously. It actually landed on the album Are You Still Down, Remember Me, which dropped on November 25th, 1997. So Pac didn't really care about people like Cube making fun of him for being a quote-unquote sucker for love. The question is, why did Cube say that? Because of Pac's superior adaptation skills?
I'm gonna tell y'all something. That's the first time I seen Tupac. Like, besides Dear Mama, I seen him. When I first seen Tupac, it was a cartoon version. There was that song right there, "What I Do for Love," and I didn't know who he was, but I had liked the song. You said which one you? I was a total north. So Oakland is the Bay Area, 5 hours away. Said no, LA is one city, Oakland is different. Shit, I ain't know shit. I'm not from over there. I'm still, I'm down south. I never been to Cali. Don't know too much. All we know about California, we thought all Californians together. Like Oakland, all this shit. We thought this shit was all in the same area.
Or maybe something similar to that scene happened where Pac ditched Cube for a girl when they were hanging out. Cause why else would you get that impression from him? Maybe it was about Yo-Yo, or a different girl. Cause Pac started to become very popular with women. So it wouldn't surprise me if something like that had happened in real life. And if you look at the reasons why Cube didn't want to play that role, and also take a look at all the movies he did afterwards, you start to notice that he had no problem playing in kids, comedy and love movies. Cube has played a lot of roles in his acting career that made him look soft or like a sucker, so to speak. But maybe he was just a little stubborn in the early days and later learned how to adapt to different roles after getting used to acting. Cause it wouldn't make much sense for a guy like Cube, who just started acting, to
I want to ask him, you know what I'm saying? Why y'all be beating on women and shit, bro? So he beat on his girl, his wife. So Dr. Dre beat on Michelle. Well, her name is Michelle too. Like, damn, they were beating on and shit.
Project a movie where he gets to play the lover of a superstar like Janet Jackson, who had released multiple classic albums that sold over 10 million copies each, and had another album on the way that went to sell over 14 million units.
Crazy.
No one in their right mind would reject that kind of offer.
Crazy.
It would have gotten him exactly where he wanted to be in his acting career.
Yeah, he tripped.
But again, maybe Cube felt a little uncomfortable playing roles that don't match his gangster image.
Yo, what's up,
because the rap world would have judged him based on the movie. The same way rap fans judge you based on your lyrical content, what you say in interviews, and how you appear in music videos and live shows. He might have thought that it could have hurt his gangster image, meaning that people start to believe that the stories he tells in his lyrics are fake, that he's not a gangster, that he lacks authenticity and is only acting. Kinda similar to Ice-T.
He wasn't no gangster in Friday. What is it? He wasn't no gangster in Friday, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he wasn't no gangster in Friday.
Rapping after Police, and then later playing the police in TV shows and movies.
They scared a big one.
And Ice Cube was the face of gangster rap in the late 80s and early 90s. And now all of a sudden here comes Pac and gets away with everything. Cube saw how it benefited Pac's rapping and acting career. So he saw it as a missed opportunity and started to regret his decision. John Singleton was also impressed by Pac's acting skills and delivery of emotions. His acting in the movie Juice was perfect. Cube was not on Pac's level when it came to showing vulnerability, emotion, sadness, empathy, affection and love. A love movie with a guy like Cube who feels uncomfortable to show emotions wouldn't work. He had a hard time catching up to Pac when it came to display of emotions in movies and also in music.
It was tempting to work with Janet Jackson, but I wanted to love the movies I was in. You know, I was like, This part is gonna come about, and I'm gonna just hate his part.
So
I didn't do
do
Poetic Justice, so John went and got Tupac to do it. I'm glad Tupac did it. I think he killed it. It was just cool to see another rapper in the game getting a shot on the big screen.
While filming the movie Poetic Justice from April 14th to July 23rd, 1992, Pac and Cube hung out together on numerous occasions. Tupac also recorded his sophomore album, which includes the song Last Words, featuring Ice Cube and Ice-T. There's footage of them together in the studio, hanging out and freestyling. Cube and Ice-T were sitting and relaxing, while Pac was standing there like a fan almost. Cause he was super humble and saw Cube and Ice-T almost like older brothers. Cause those two were actually the ones that took West Coast hip-hop and gangster rap in general to the next level. The song they did together is extremely underrated and overlooked. They all did a great job lyrically.
Last Words, it's called Last, it's track 5. Oh, it's off the Are You Down? Or Are You Down album, okay. It's called Last Words with Ice Cube and Ice-T. I gotta hear that shit. If anybody heard this song, let me know if it's good. I gotta listen. I'm gonna listen that night.
And Pac was just getting better and better with every album. His friendship with Yo-Yo also turned into a love affair and relationship around that time. They were really close, and there were rumors that Cube had a problem with that. The two appeared together in the music video for Petra's song Romantic Call in 1993.
Yep, they were two brothers.
Their love relationship didn't last long as Pac turned more and more into a player. He started dating all of Yo-Yo's female friends.
Oh, Lord.
He was very popular with women in general. Back then, he even put out a song called I Get Around, in which he's bragging about his sexual conquests. So the relationship with Yo-Yo didn't last, and they both decided to go their separate ways. From March 93 to May 94, Pac recorded the group album Thug Life. And then he started to record his next solo project, which was his breakthrough album Me Against the World. On July 14th, 1994, he recorded the song Dear Mama, which is widely regarded as one of his best songs. The original version contained a sample from Ice Cube's song It's a Man's World off his debut album America's Most Wanted, on which he was rapping back and forth with the rapper Yo-Yo. They trade bars and debate the place of women in hip-hop and in the hood. It's an even-handed debate and was definitely a groundbreaking move in the gangster rap scene. Although it didn't necessarily show Cube from his compassionate, caring and tolerant side. He was still playing his gangster role and looked down on women. Kinda like how he wanted the movie Poetic Justice to be. Ice Cube's song wasn't entirely misogynistic. He actually had Yo-Yo on there to go back and forth and to counter all his arguments. He was indirectly uplifting women as well, by giving her a platform, and by making Yo-Yo stand up for all the women and defend them against a gangster like Ice Cube. Tupac used the sample to dedicate an entire song to his mother, while showing love and respect to women in general.
This is a man's world, thank you very much.
It wouldn't be a damn thing without a woman's touch.
Rest in peace, Afeni.
Another
Rest in
one.
peace, Mama Pop. We love Mama Pop on this channel.
Give me a hell yeah.
Just wrote it down, and it came out like tears, you know. And right after I wrote it, I called my mom and I rapped it to her over the phone like live. She was like crying. I was like, "That's a hit."
Pac used Yo-Yo, who was supposed to be the voice for the women on Ice Cube's track, as a repeated sample next to his own heartfelt and uplifting lyrics, putting as much feeling and emotion into the song as possible, words that come straight from the heart and paint vivid pictures, thematizing his own insecurities, fears and emotions, even though people labeled him as a cold-blooded thug and gangster, which in most cases is closely related to toxic masculinity. Something that people often criticize Cube for, saying that he's incapable of expressing love and emotion as he's stuck in his cold, one-dimensional tough guy role. Cube didn't want to be like Tupac and be a sucker for women. Pac, on the other hand, tried to make it okay for tough macho men to show themselves from their...
Ain't gonna lie to none. This like the only cute picture I seen from your ass. Ain't gonna lie. She like Latino a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Lord, look at her ass right here. No, she a freak. Look at her.
sensitive side and be a little mama's boy, so to speak, while simultaneously being a real man. And Cube didn't really like that, which again was the reason why he couldn't play the role in Poetic Justice. A lot of people have accused Ice Cube of being jealous of Tupac because of that. He not only outshined him acting-wise, but he was also becoming a threat on a rapping level. Ice Cube was becoming obsolete and the new guys were taking over, which Pac believes was one of the reasons why Cube didn't allow him to use that sample. Yo-Yo didn't appear on the final version of Dear Mama due to Cube having a problem with it. Because a day after putting the song together, Tupac came back to the studio to listen to it on a cassette tape. And he told DJ King Assassin, the guy who did the scratches on the song, that they can't clear the sample for the Yo-Yo parts because Cube told the manager of his label Lenchmark Records that Pac can't use it. Tupac was devastated when he heard.
I know you saying I know he been with wife forever, but you know what I'm saying. Niggas always got that's just like you got a wife at home, but you know what I'm saying, when you go to work, everybody got their little work boo. You know what I'm saying? They flirt with you and shit. Not I ain't gonna say everybody, but majority of people. You work like in warehouses and shit. Everybody got a little work boo. You know what I'm saying? You see who you see every day. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. You said why when you go by his interviews, you gotta take about. I take about 50 by 50. Some true, some maybe not, bro.
At the news because at the time
I leave it to y'all because y'all was the people that old enough that been back was in day during this time. I leave it to y'all tell me what's true or what's not. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was born in 91, so I don't know if it's true or false. That makes sense.
Thought that would be his breakthrough single. And now, right before putting it out and getting his career to the next level, Cube comes and pulls the brakes, sabotaging the song in the process. At least that's how Pac felt. He thought Cube ruined the classic and doesn't want to see Pac succeed. And at the time, Pac was really running out of money due to all the lawyer fees for the Ayanna Jackson assault case. He was desperately trying to create the next hit and rap himself out of financial ruin. He was super mad at Cube for doing that. Pac was under the impression that the song Dear Mama wouldn't work without that one yo-yo line, which in the original version was used twice in the intro and 10 times in total in the hooks. So they were forced to remake the song, as the intro, outro and the hook were basically ruined. According to DJ King Assassin, it was Cube's jealousy and ego that made him stop Pac from using that sample. Ice Cube had Yo-Yo on his label and was basically responsible for her success, so she had to stay loyal to Cube and couldn't just meet up with Tupac and work something out. And even if she could, Yo-Yo was never informed by Cube that Tupac wanted to sample her vocals. So when DJ King Assassin informed her about it, she started crying, cause her and Pac had broken up prior to that song and lost contact even though the relationship didn't end in a bad way. According to
Somebody help, you know what I'm saying? She want, you know what I'm saying, need a pad, you know what I'm saying, for 412. That's your cash out, he say Nook. Okay, I'm gonna fuck the name up. Y'all see, I'm gonna fuck the name up, I ain't gonna lie. He said Ice Cube was another Tupac hater. He said really begging. Y'all crazy. Hey shit, bro, some people need that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I would help you, but I don't smoke, you know what I'm saying? But everybody hated on Tupac back in the day, though, bro. But him to be married and hating on Tupac with Yo-Yo is crazy. You know, but that was his artist though. I don't know if that's true or false on that one.
Yo-Yo herself. He wanted to include her vocals to do something sweet for her. She would have been on one of the greatest and most emotional hip-hop records of all time. On a song that's empowering women, with Yo-Yo being the quote-unquote brand new intelligent black lady, being something like a feminist almost. Yo-Yo has never stopped loving Tupac even after his death. She even came to the hospital right before he died. So yeah.
Shout out Yo-Yo.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
Shit real, boy. Y'all talking about Tupac got that fake on you, bro.
They were really close. And according to DJ King Assassin, Tupac was enraged and super mad about it. He felt like he got stabbed in the back by a friend. Him and the DJ couldn't understand how Cube could sample everybody's songs on his albums, but didn't allow his friends to use one little line from an old song.
My first time.
Ice Cube heard that both the DJ and Pac were mad at him for that, and Cube then stopped talking to them. And afterwards, he also stopped producing for Yo-Yo. He was the executive producer for her first 3 albums: Make Way for the Motherlode in 1991, Black Pearl in 1992,
I want to see this true,
and
though.
You Better Ask Somebody in 1993.
I want to see, can we find, I want to see got an interview on YouTube. She probably never talk about it, but I'm going to see. I want to see that true. Okay, she's talking about working with it. Okay, we gotta say Tupac too, motherfucker. See, everybody saying that. Say Ice Cube jealous of Tupac, the dear mama. I want to hear for her mouth though. Please don't unmute it.
The best. He was the best entertainer that I remember. I mean, he just had a swag about him. When he touched that stage, it was just, you know, I fell in love with him as an artist first. Just his love for music, his passion for people. You know, he was a young writer. He was a young Malcolm X. You know, he was a young Black Panther. He was a street nigga. He was all of that mixed up in one. And you know, he had a penmanship when it came to writing lyrics like nobody else. You know, he lived it, he breathed it. You know, it was in his walk.
Very confident. Great work ethic.
Snoop. You like Snoop Dogg?
Cocky ass nigga. Very cocky. I loved him though. You know, I loved him. I loved his confidence.
Team Thug, like?
You know, he was. You know,
who lyrics that is, Ron?
It's sad that he's not here today because I always say, you know, our families would still be in contact with each other. Well, I'm in contact with his family, and I work with his sister and their organization, the Tupac Amir Shakur Foundation. So yeah, I work with them and their organization, and they work also with my organization. So I'm still in contact, but you know, just a.
All right. Can we get a face? I want to see her say it close to close. Tupac Ed playing her role as. And Faith new picture. Oh Lord. Oh yeah, now that shit got ass music. Fuck that.
Bell, and you are watching Women in Hip Hop Podcast. I love Roxanne Shantae. Salt and Pepper, I love Salt and Pepper. Of course, I came up with Queen and La. We were around the same times, but shoot.
Shout out to the Women in Hip Hop Podcast. Shout out that. I might subscribe to that channel. Show love to my women.
You know, he was like, I like to flow so swift, it's got to be a gift. So yeah. So the beginning of it, he wrote it, and he was like, and then the hook will say, you can't play with my yo-yo. And I was like, oh, you know, so we was all excited about it. And we went on just to write together. You know, he wrote he wrote the idea and the introduction
Bone
of the
Thugs Harmony.
song.
I love Bone Thugs Harmony.
Yeah,
I gotta do a
we
stream
both
about Bone
finished
Thugs
together.
Harmony.
He was really
Bone.
instrumental in my career before. I had no writer's help when I was just doing it on my own and trying to get in. But once I got in with Cube, he was so creative. He would get off the plane and he like, oh my God, I got something for you. And you know, I have to tell him like, hold up, don't you're not writing all my stuff on it. But he loved to write, and we wrote together a lot. And really, he just gave me ideas because my music, when I, fresh out of high school, was on a basic level. And so him, who had already been in the industry, was trying to always, and we fought about it a lot, because I thought that maybe he was trying to be too controlling over my music. But
now you look at it now.
I learned during the
said,
process that it was just him lifting me up, saying, okay, your raps are basic. You need to make it universal. We need everybody.
What the kids call leveling up rap, right?
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah. So, always a great guy, still to this day.
Yeah, I see that y'all stay in touch. I saw that you were just on
Hip Hop Squares.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Cube, it's been a while. When you grew up with someone, I think we did have a separation side where it was like, okay, let me stand on my own. Cube got married.
I never heard that song.
Moved on. And, broke away from all the cliques and everyone who, the lynch mob.
I don't think she's gonna talk. I ain't gonna think she's gonna talk about that. So we continue. Lord, I'm gonna fucked up. Damn, did I go past the video? What the fuck? Where is that? Oh shit, y'all, I lost it. Oh, that's it.
3. The two ex-NWA members Dr. Dre and Cube then came together to do a reunion album called Helter Skelter, which was supposed to come out in January 95 on Death Row Records, to which Tupac would sign to in autumn 95. But they ended up scrapping the album and Cube never collaborated with Death Row again. They had already recorded their first single called Natural Born Killers, which ended up on the Murder Was the Case soundtrack. On October 20th, Tupac was invited to come to the set for the shoot of the music video and make a cameo appearance as the sniper who kills Ice Cube in the final scene. But there are no pictures or videos of them together. Only pictures you see of Tupac outside in the dark with the video director Gary Gray. The scenes of Dre and Cube were shot in a different session inside a building, so they weren't hanging out together. They all just recorded their scenes and left. Pac was only in one little scene, a sniper that's all alone and pretending to aim at the cameraman. They later edited the scenes to make it look like he's shooting Ice Cube, but the two scenes were recorded in different sessions. Cube wasn't there anymore when they filmed Tupac's final scene. Suge Knight, the label boss of Death Row Records, had previously paid Tupac for the songs Pour Little Liquor, Pain and Loyal to the Game, which were all on the movie soundtrack to Above the Rim, the movie Pac played in after Poetic Justice. The soundtrack came out on March 22nd.
Y'all had some good ass hip hop. All I hear is auto-tune and shit and barely understand what these folks talking about. You know what I'm saying?
In 1994 under the label Death Row Records. And the music video for Dr. Dre and Cube's Natural Born Killers came out on November 27th, 1994, just 3 days before the Quad Studio shooting in New York, in which Pac got shot 5 times. I made a video on this, which you should definitely check out. So Pac gets shot.
I know this shit. I just know this shit. I've been seeing this shit so many times.
Video for Dr. Dre and Cube's Natural Born 1994 under the label Death Row Records. And the music video for Dr. Dre and Cube's Natural Born Killers came out on November.
When both of them got bald headed and he got a bandana tied up just like Tupac. Y'all didn't know this shit.
27th night.
We ain't gonna walk past that shit, man. I don't care what nobody say, they was inspired by Tupac. Both of them motherfuckers, now y'all bald headed. And he got the bandana tied like Tupac.
1994.
That's crazy, bro.
Just 3 days before the Quad Studio shooting in New York, in which Pac got shot 5 times. I made a video on this, which you should definitely check out.
I thought it was cool.
So Pac gets shot, goes to prison on abuse charges on February 7th, 1995, gets bailed out by Suge Knight on October 12th that same year, and gets signed to Death Row Records. When Tupac joined that label, and when the whole East Coast West Coast war was going on in hip-hop, Pac was paying close attention to everything that was said during the coastal beef. He saw everyone that was sending shots at the West Coast as his enemy. And every West Coast artist dissing the East Coast, he saw as a potential teammate and ally. He took the East Coast-West Coast war very seriously, as he had become the face of it. The media had declared him and the Notorious B.I.G. as the protagonists of that beef. He didn't tolerate any disrespect towards the people on his coast. Everyone dissing Snoop, the Dog Pound, Dre, Death Row, his friends, or West Coast artists in general, he saw as an enemy, and was ready to diss them. Ice Cube at the time had formed his own little group and was collaborating with the West Coast MCs Mac 10 and Dub C, with whom he had dropped the single West Side Slaughterhouse in 1995, on which they were responding to a rapper from Chicago called Common Sense, who in 1994 released his sophomore album Resurrection, with the lead single I Used to Love Her.
I thought Common came out in like 2000, like mid 2000, like 2005, 2004. I didn't know he was back. Damn, that crazy right there. I didn't know Common, he was back in the streets. I didn't know you beefing Ice Cube.
Which tells the story of a girl he fell in love with, which Common used as a metaphor for hip-hop. So he's metaphorically describing the evolution of hip-hop and how the genre changed over time once the West Coast took over. Common is not fond of the way hip-hop has developed once the West Coast started influencing the genre as a whole. So Common ends the song by saying that he will try to take hip-hop back to its roots, and that he wants to make it stop to be so gangsterish, violent and obscene. So of course rappers on the West Coast took offense to that, including Ice Cube and Tupac. Pac was just itching to respond, but the song I Used to Love Her was released in 1994. Before Tupac started rapping the West Coast the way he did after signing to Death Row and after being released from prison. So the timing wasn't right. If it was, he would have definitely dissed Common for that song alone, even if he didn't mean it that way, like he later clarified. Somebody had to step up and defend the West Coast. That's how people felt back then. The person in charge for the West Coast, who was both lyrically top tier and also respected in the rap game, was Cube at the time. Pac saw how Cube, Mac 10 and Dub C were dissing Common in 1995, while he was in prison, on the song West Side Slaughterhouse, which was on Mac 10's self-titled album, released on June 20th. On October 12th, Pac came out of prison and a lot of people on the West Coast started reaching out to him. Basically every major artist in LA, except people like Ice Cube, Mac 10 and Dub C. Pac always looked up to him, was inspired by him. So he was like, if I was cool with Cube right now, I would be going at Common for him. But now I'm staying out of it, cause Pac and Cube weren't close anymore. Cube didn't write him or reach out to him while he was in prison. He also started his own movement with Westside Connection, instead of becoming part of the Death Row family. He also cancelled the collab album with Dre, so they grew apart. Pac used to call him, but he never got on the phone or called back. There was tension between the two, and Pac was trying to figure out what was wrong. It was later revealed by Gonzo, member of the group Caution, which was signed to Cube's label Lenchmark Records, who would also become an honorable member of 2Pac's group Outlaws, that Cube quote-unquote crossed him, the same way he did Gonzo even though he was signed to his label. Cube used to do that to people he didn't want to work with or talk to, so he ignored him basically, and didn't want to have anything to do with Pac anymore. And Gonzo of course informed Tupac about that. Suge Knight thought of signing Ice Cube to the label and of more or less reviving the group NWA, but without Eazy-E, who had passed away on March 26th that year. Dre and Cube were actually dissing Eazy-E on the scrapped album Helter Skelter, but Cube and E squashed their beef in time, and the disses never came out. There were actually plans for an NWA reunion, with Cube and Dre coming together as the OGs of the group, and Snoop and the Dogg Pound serving as a replacement for MC Ren, Yella and Eazy-E. Cause the beef with Eazy-E's label Ruthless Records was still on. Suge wanted to profit off of that whole movement. Cause NWA is what made gangster rap so popular. The whole label Death Row was built on the success of that group. But those plans failed because Cube didn't want to sign to Death Row Records. He had his own label called Lynch Mob Records, and both Cube and Dre had big egos at the time. Nobody wanted to give up on their own label and movement to sign to their ex-NWA partner. Cause Cube had originally left the group NWA to start his own label, instead of signing to Eazy-E's label Ruthless Records. And giving up on Lynch Mob Records to sign under Dre's label wasn't a good look for him. Even though Death Row was way bigger and way more successful, everybody wanted to be the number one. Not just number one on their label, but also number one on their coast and in hip-hop in general. Cube coming over to Death Row wouldn't benefit him, as he wouldn't be a priority within the label, cause all the other artists were bigger than him. And your music would suffer based on your hierarchy within the label. The most popular artist on the label gets the best beats. Everyone else has to wait for their turn and be happy with what they get. Cube chose to be the number one artist on Lynch Mob Records, a less successful label, over being the number 4 on the more successful Death Row Records, meaning behind Dre, Snoop and Pac. When Tupac came over to Death Row, all eyes were on him, which funny enough became the title of his upcoming album. He became so popular that even Dre, the OG, got outshined. He wasn't the number one artist on the label anymore, and Suge didn't want them to work on Dre's new album until they're done using Pac's hype at the time to their advantage, which made Dre almost feel like an intern over there. That, along with a bunch of other reasons I will touch on in a future video, made him leave his own label, cause he was the co-owner of Death Row Records. The same thing but worse would have happened to Cube. Pac was just taking over. Ice Cube saw that and was, I don't want to say intimidated and jealous, but it did kinda shock him. To see a guy who was once a fan of him and had been inspired by him for all these years, to outgrow him and to quote-unquote master his style, as Pac would later describe it.
Even if they came out dissing me, I could destroy them. I've mastered their styles. They could keep writing new shit, but I've mastered their styles, like the 5 Deadly Venoms. Right. They had the 5 Deadly Venoms, right? And the teacher made one more nigga that knew all their styles. So all he had to do was get next to a nigga like that, and he could destroy it.
A fan of him had become his biggest competition on the West Coast. Cause think about it, Dre was the biggest rapper on the West Coast at the time. But the game never ranked him above Cube, as he was the one writing lyrics for him. And he also destroyed him in their little lyrical exchange of words, which essentially led to NWA's dissolution. And
what best diss song all time? I always ask this. What best diss song all time? You know what I'm saying? No Vaseline or Hit 'Em Up. All Eyes on Me, classic album. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for the stream on May 8th when they induct the All Eyes on Me album on the Grammys. We are gonna be streaming that live. I hope they don't bring Snoop Dogg. They probably gonna bring Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre do California Love and To America Most Wanted. I really want them to perform like Outlaws. Or they used to do Ambitious as Rider. That's my shit right there. But which the best this on all time? Y'all can say Eazy, this Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, or y'all can say No Vaseline, or y'all can say Hit 'Em Up. You said neither? You said Hit 'Em Up? We got one for Hit 'Em Up. We got one for Hit 'Em Up.
1991. So Dre got humbled by Cube, and Snoop was seen as his little sidekick, who was lucky to get someone like him to produce his debut album. But he was still super popular. Eazy-E had passed away, so who else was really the representative for the West Coast at the time? Cube felt like it was him. He was selling a lot of units, was lyrical, and was also doing movies. And now, all of a sudden, Pac is trying to take away his spot by not only surpassing Dre and making everyone else on the label sit on the reserve bench, so to speak, but also by coming for the #1 spot worldwide. Cause once his double album All Eyes on Me came out, He was outselling and outshining everybody. So Cube definitely felt some type of way about it. And people to this day still criticize him for refusing to give Tupac his flowers. To him, Pac was always just a little boy who only...
We're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna go back and forth from Ice Cube and we're gonna go back and forth. Ice Cube and Dr. Dre. So we call it right now. Now we're gonna go to Ice what's it called? You said that shit was hard. Crud was the only one. Never. The rest of them, dog. 69 got a point now. What y'all think about 69 saying that? Dr. Dre was something else though. I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna go back and forth though.
Thug life, dog, don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug life, nigga?
It beef.
No matter how dope he is, and Dre's one of my heroes in the music business, but I was like, no matter how dope he is, if he's not down for his homeboy, then I don't want to be a part of him. I don't want to be around him or nothing.
As far as Dr. Dre goes, been there, done that, through with it.
Gonna run too.
I've seen them come, I've watched them go, watched them rise, witnessed it and watched them blow.
You know, you can't find somebody that can really rhyme, get in the studio and get down, and also be a good actor. You know, that's rare.
The strangest things can happen from rapping when get wrapped up in image and acting.
Rock like this. I'm on some MOB station. I'm on a red rag, so bam. I don't feel nothing. Red rag. Pop.
She can try to play that gangster this shit, but we MOB for I'm real.
Get capped up and wrapped in plastic, zipped up in bags when it happens, that's it.
What he was saying about me is all.
I ain't never had no Alizé, but shit, must be fruity. Yeah, I love Hit 'Em Up though. To me, if you had to ask me, I think Hit 'Em Up like the best diss song of all time. Oh, we gotta add what's called in there too. We gotta add Ether by Nas and yeah, we gotta add that one in there too, cause he dissed the fuck out of it. What's called?
Get capped up and wrapped in plastic, zipped.
I ain't mean to wind that back that far. I want to wind back to that part.
Tupac versus Dr. Dre.
I want to wind it back all the way back there.
Tupac versus Dr. Dre. A beef that took place in the mid-90s and can be best described as an idols become rivals type of relationship, merged with betrayal / two groups going their separate ways after working together. They met in 1990 when Pac was on tour with Digital Underground and Dre was a part of NWA. Pac kept asking him for beats, telling him that he wants to go solo, but Dre didn't really take him seriously, as he was a nobody at this point, and as Dre kept his beats for himself and his crew. Almost every track Dre produced became a banger, so he had no reason to give away his beats. Dre never reached out to him as he wasn't really interested in working with him. Pac was a huge fan of him, but the two never really developed a real friendship. They would see each other every now and then, but didn't collaborate until years later. In early '92, Dre left Ruthless Records and his group NWA to create his own label with a man named Suge Knight. Pac had already dropped his debut album Tupacalypse Now and played in the movie Juice a year prior. His good friend Tretch from Naughty by Nature was in it as well. He was very close with ex-NWA member Eazy-E, who became Dr. Dre's biggest rival after he went to Death Row. Pac had already known him since 1990. He idolized him even more than Dr. Dre. Tretch would later ghostwrite for Eazy-E, and the three started hanging out together. Pac also got close with the group Above the Law, which was signed to Eazy-E's label Ruthless Records. Pac wanted Eazy-E to sign him as well. He was having difficulties with his second album at the time. It was supposed to be called Black Starry Night at first. He even recorded an intro with that same title, in which he's shouting out Above the Law.
Damn, I should say.
This intro was scrapped, became an interlude, and just like all the other songs he had recorded at that time, it was released posthumously in 1997 on the album Are You Still Down, Remember Me. While working on Black Starry Night in 1992, the people from Interscope Records told him to change it. Then, as the recording process went on over the next few months, Pac decided to change the name to Troublesome 21. He was adding and removing songs every time he went to the studio. The tracklist of the final version of the Troublesome 21 album.
Okay, this is the Troublesome track list. Well, they say he kept moving them. Oh God, wait. Strictly for my niggas. The streets are death row. I get around just in the underground. Holla if you hear me. With live get up, well, live squad. Don't call me a bitch. Papa Son. Soldiers of Revenge. Soldiers of Revenge, side piece, some shit. Cricket, nigga 2. What goes on? Still don't give a fuck. I wonder if heaven got a ghetto. Nothing but love. Troublesome my shit too. Keep your head up. Said all songs were written by Tupac Shakur, produced. Big D by Stretch, Live Squad, and Shot G.
Was entirely different from the actual sophomore album that came out. Because Troublesome 21 was scrapped by Time Warner due to the outcry in the media over the lyrical content. Pac was really having difficulties with his career at the time. The censorship was one of the reasons why he tried to find a new label. He had a problem with Interscope telling him what to say and what not to say in his lyrics.
I got a question for all my people back in there. I got one more question before I continue the video. When Tupac died, after Tupac died, did all his albums, like after that, did they all go platinum or #1? I need to look that up, cause I don't know. I went out, since I was a kid. But after Tupac died, all his albums, did they go #1 or platinum, diamond, gold?
He thought there was no censorship on labels like Ruthless Records and Death Row. That's why he tried to reach out to them, especially to Eazy-E's label Ruthless Records. He thought that was the best option at the time, because he was already cool with Above the Law and Eazy-E, who again were the enemies of Dre and Death Row Records. Pac more or less tried to prove Eazy-E his loyalty and convince him that he'll be a great addition to the label. He did a song with Above the Law called Call It What You Want. They also did a music video together in which Eazy-E was featured. That wasn't the first time Eazy appeared in a music video with Tupac. In 1990, Dre and E made a cameo appearance in the music video for the song Same Song. That was the first single Tupac was on. Between 1992 and 1993, Tupac and Above the Law performed the song Call It What You Want on different shows in LA. Pac got to hang out with the entire Ruthless crew, including Eazy-E. They would always talk bad about Dr. Dre and Death Row Records. Eazy-E was trying to motivate Tupac to go at Dr. Dre and his crew. Pac was a hothead and extremely loyal. He would always treat the rivals of his friends as his own enemies. In December '92, Dr. Dre dissed Eazy-E and the label Ruthless Records on the song Dre Day off the album The Chronic. Eazy-E asked Pac if he would diss Dre for him in exchange for him getting signed to Ruthless Records. And Pac said yes, he was ready. He was already in F Dre mode. And he was looking for people to get back at Dre and to counter the diss track Dre Day. One day when Tupac, Eazy-E,
Why we ain't got no more Eazy-E songs? Like, damn, we need a new Eazy-E song. Damn, I'm mad Eazy didn't write a lot of songs. We need another Eazy-E song. Shit. I want to see Eazy and goddamn Tupac song, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. Ooh, that shit probably hard. Instead of the one they do on YouTube with the 50 Cent beat, they killed that shit, I ain't gonna lie.
Of the Law and Money B from Digital Underground were at a show in LA and were getting ready to perform on stage. Somebody told them that the people from Death Row were in the same building. There was a little tension in the air and everybody thought that it would come to a fight. Since the situation was so heated, Eazy-E was calm and relaxed and said, if something happens, I got my thing. He pulled out his gun and was ready. Pac then pulled out a gun too, saying, Yeah,
next
I got my gun too.
Let you know what I think of it.
As if he's ready to shoot at the people from death row if it comes to a fight. The elevator doors open and they make eye contact with rapper and producer Warren G, who's actually Dr. Dre's stepbrother. But he wasn't really close with him back then. He was actually closer to Above the Law, who he was working with early on in his career. Everybody had pulled off their guns because they expected to see Dre, but it was Warren G, so it didn't come to a fight. Warren G wasn't even the type to fight and argue with people. They exchanged words and everything was cool. Pac and Eazy-E had a falling out due to multiple reasons.
Damn.
The first being Pac deciding to record a song with Ice Cube called Last Words for his sophomore album, which finally got released on February 16th, 1993 under a new name, after scrapping multiple songs and replacing them with new ones. Ice Cube was still an enemy of Ruthless Records and Eazy-E. Not only did he destroy NWA with his diss track No Vaseline, but E's homies from Above the Law had a fist fight with Cube and his crew, the Lynch Mob, in 1991. Eazy-E was actually working on a diss EP aimed at Cube, similar to the one he made for Dre, which is called It's On Dr. Dre 187 Killer. It came out on October 19th, 1993, and Cube was supposed to get dissed on a separate EP. Cube later even agreed to do an entire album called Helter Skelter with Dr. Dre, dissing Eazy-E. So yeah, E was disappointed by Pac doing a song with him.
I know it's sad. It's sad that NWA they were dissing each other. Though. That's sad right all the time. I hate they were dissing each other. I like Warren G and Nate Dogg. I like Nate Dogg. I don't know too much. I like Warren G. What's that song Warren G got? I like that song. I used to hear that shit. You know, you back in the day, them little cookouts and shit. You used to hear that song a lot. What's that song about Warren G? Y'all let me know what's that hit song he had. You used to hear that shit all through the goddamn cookouts.
The second reason why E didn't really want to mess with Pac anymore was because he was starting to get too close with the people from Death Row. And again, Dre and Eazy were enemies. Everyone on both labels was in war mode. So why would he try to work with or get close to not just one, but two of his enemies in the middle of a rap beef? After telling him that he would diss them, Dre dissed E on one of the most iconic battle records ever, and Cube did the same on No Vaseline a year prior. And Pac was trying to get close with both of them, even though he was yelling F Dre when E and Pac were hanging out together. So E was obviously confused and disappointed. Pac just wanted to take his career to the next level. He felt like Interscope was holding him back.
What is it called? Oh, I spelled that nigga name wrong like a motherfucker. No, I can't spell. Is it this DJ? Or is it what y'all talking about? No, I don't think it's this one. It's called Regulator. I'm play a little bit of it. I know I can't play the whole song. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Regulators.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. That's it.
Too. But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the...
I gotta keep pausing that shit, y'all.
Black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts.
God damn. Hey, when that above the rim? Yeah, it was on above the rim. That motherfucker hard to me. Hey, ain't Nate Dogg on this song? Yeah, Nate Dogg. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Said Tupac Above the Law. That's a song called. Facts, Peter. Hey, Soulja might be on something. I don't know, but I don't know. They said Tupac got his inspiration, his style from like Ice Cube and cause he looked up to him and shit, like talking. So you might be on something with that.
So he tried to reach out and get close to all the giants in the industry. He tried to take every opportunity that came his way to finally blow up. He didn't even think that Eazy-E would take offense to it. Pac got close with Death Row around the time he started working on his third album, which was in 1993. He first met Snoop Dogg on July 21st, 1993, at the premiere for the movie Poetic Justice, which he played in a year prior. Turns out that the people from Death Row already had him on their radar at the time. Pac then started to hang out with Snoop Dogg, and then got introduced to the label boss Suge Knight, who offered him a record deal. They wanted to make a deal with Interscope and get all the music they recorded for Pac's third album and put it out on the label Death Row. Like mentioned earlier, Interscope was already causing trouble and refusing to put out Pac's music the way he wanted it to be, mainly because of his lyrical content, which they thought was too violent and controversial, especially his songs about crooked cops. They tried to censor him. Pac always wanted to be on Ruthless, but they weren't really making much of an effort to get him on their label. Eazy-E at the time had linked up with the rappers BG Knockout and Gangsta Drayster, so he didn't need a guy like Pac anymore to go at Dre. Gangsta Drayster and BG Knockout were taking care of that, so Ruthless Records wasn't really interested anymore. With Death Row, it was the other way around. They were the ones that reached out to Pac and offered him a record deal.
And I don't even picture myself to be like Dre or whatever. I just picture myself to be like me. You know, I would be putting out underground tapes if nobody ever bought my records. And I was selling up to whereas I can keep putting out underground tapes now. It's cool though. You know, we just signed with Death Row. That's going to be cool too. They're going to be doing my next album. It's all cool. They came to me and said, do you want to work with the Row? And I said, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm confused the fuck out of me. One minute they talking about he wasn't signed to Death Row. Next minute Tupac himself said he was signed to Death Row. Like, I'm confused. You know what I'm saying? Cause if y'all was in yesterday's stream, I forgot the dude did a little documentary. He talking about Tupac would never sign to Death Row. He confused the fuck out of me. Pop shit was way harder than NWA or any of them on the West Coast. Tupac already said he already mastered all their styles. He mastered Dr. Dre, Ice Cube. He mastered all their styles, bro.
Do some shit on my music. The next album, that's good. I can't really ask for nothing more than
just
that.
Click on that motherfucker.
93.
Then you gonna zoom in on the shit. You trying to get me fucked up. Hold on, you gotta skip that shit. You trying to get me fucked up.
Recording his third album, to sign to Death Row, was because of the disagreements he had with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and the Dog.
Do some shit on my music. The next album, that's good. I can't really ask for nothing more than that, really, in 93.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. If you see a rapper with this, do that mean they Illuminati or some shit? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I ain't gonna hold shit. You know, we ain't never been scared on this channel. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing that a lot. Like when they had a little 5-star little shit right up, that mean they got them with them boys. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know.
Yeah, going on that tour. It's Snoop, Tupac, Thug Life, and Death Row. Ain't that?
The reason why Pac decided not to sign to Death Row was because of the disagreements he had with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and the Dog Pound back in autumn '93. Pac had just finished recording his third album, which he called Thug Style, or Thug for Life. This was before he decided to put out a group project called Thug Life. A lot of the songs on the unreleased album Thug Style came out posthumously in 1997 on the album Are You Still Down, Remember Me, which is a double album containing some of the unreleased songs he originally intended for a second album.
So y'all, let me ask y'all these questions before we continue. So y'all think Tupac was down with them boys? We gonna say them boys. Y'all know what I'm talking about, but we gonna say them boys because we on YouTube. But y'all think Tupac was down with them boys? I don't think he was down with them motherfuckers. That's why I thought the Q Illuminati album was. So you ever froze in? I didn't know you can freeze in hot heat. Mo 3 had it. Young Dog. God damn, y'all gonna make me look this shit up. List 2 Violence. Goddamn, hold on, Mo 3. You know, I look that bitch up. I ain't gonna lie. What y'all say, Mo 3? He said Mo 3. Who y'all said? Who else y'all said? Dolph. Shit, I know Dolph. He had a whole goddamn shit like this. He had the old album. I said, oh no. You know, I fuck with Dolph. Yup, he got it right though. I see it. Yeah, he got it too. I don't think King Von got it. Yeah, brother got it. Damn, these all people that died too. That crazy. Damn, that crazy. All of them died. He died. My boy right here died. Sheesh. He died. But we don't went to X-Files that damn fast. You know what I'm saying? The X-Files now. That shit crazy. What do it mean though? Said rappers who died wearing his ring. What's the meaning behind it? Who died? Everybody else died from that. King Von died from it too. I see a rapper got that shit on. I know they gonna die. So my boy got this on. Hey, cousin. I don't know. I'm about to ask you why. I don't know. I gotta go rewatch the X-Files. I ain't seen the X-Files since I was like in the 90s, bro. I ain't watched the X-Files in the 90s. I gotta go rewatch that shit. That's like me going to watch Goosebumps again. I used to think Goosebumps was scary as hell when I was a kid. I rewatched it. I said, God, this shit ain't even scary. I'm gonna go back and watch that shit. Hey, Papa Trent. Player status and faith, path to success. It's that you know you lying talking about minding them of their achievements and shit. So you have to get this shit when you get a rapper. You have to get that.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is a thug life nigga?
Nah, hell nah. We need deeper dive. It's something deeper than that shit. Cause I ain't all them motherfuckers died wearing the same shit. What's up? How you doing? Okay, it's a representative of being a star in the industry. Rappers were to claim their spot as a top tier artist. Hold on, here go Pierce. Here go, yeah, let go down here. A sellout rumor within the rap community. Sell your soul. The curse theory, because several rappers were awarded the ring passed away. Include Mo 3, Young Dolph, Draco the Ruler. Damn. A curse or a Death Star. Yeah, I know not to wear that shit. Yeah, no, I don't give him. All the motherfuckers died from that shit. It's crazy. Hold on, did Biggie have one? I don't know. I'm gonna see if Biggie had one. Now Biggie had one now. Before I go back to the video, did Biggie have one? I don't think Biggie was scary like that. Hold on, damn, I gotta go back and find where I was at. I don't think Biggie had one. I don't think Biggie had one. Who the fuck made it a Biggie right there? I ain't know they lying. I can get it. You said Big was your third favorite? Damn, can I zoom in? I'm trying to see what this is. It's like a goddamn pyramid right here. But we done went to 8-5 real quick, twin. Like, we all off topic. I don't think Biggie had none. I don't think Biggie had none.
Starry Nights, and also his third album, Thug Style. Two projects that got scrapped and replaced by other albums. The album Thug Style was originally scheduled for an early...
God damn, not DM... Oh my god. Not DMX. Shit. See, I'm thinking they got them did this shit because they seen Pop had this shit. Because, you know, everybody look like imitated Pop. So I'm thinking they got this shit because Pop had this shit. They're just like Drake buying Tupac old jewelry and shit. Damn, my boy. Nah, my boy DMX got it. I don't see it. Let me know if y'all know a video where he got it on or something like that. I would never do DMX again, bro. Like his backstory is goddamn crazy, but that shit so sad. That shit hurt my little heart, but I ain't gonna lie. Him and damn Big Pun. Lord have mercy. I'll never do that again. Oh, you just assuming? Okay.
94 release. He had songs on there like Thug Style, Thug for Life, Is It Cool to F, and Time to Get My Drink On. Pac had handed in the final version of the project to Interscope, so that they can make copies of it and sell it in early 94. Somebody from Interscope then, for whatever reason, gave copies of the Thug Style album to Dr. Dre, Shook, Snoop, and the Dogg Pound. Like mentioned earlier, there were plans of them signing Tupac to their label, so that might have been one of the reasons why they got copies in advance, more than half a year before the official release.
Nah, you got it.
Because this incident happened late.
Nah, he had older dude laced the blunt with crack. The older dude he was hanging with, he used to look up to, they was smoking the blunt. The older dude laced the blunt with crack, and that's how he got on that shit. He ain't been off that shit ever since. That shit sad.
Summer, early autumn 93, when they were still working on Snoop's debut album, which ended up being Doggy Style. Doggy Style and Thug Style. Now who copied whom? The singer Natasha Walker did the background vocals on Tupac's song Is It Cool to F, which again was on the Thug Style album. And she confirmed that Snoop and the people from Death Row were biting Tupac. She walked in on Corrupt and Daz Dillinger of the group The Dogg Pound, which was signed to Death Row at the time, while they were listening to Tupac's upcoming album Thug Style. They had a copy of that album and were studying it, without Pac knowing about it. Listening to it during the recording sessions of Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style album, with Dre in the studio stealing ideas, cause he was the one producing the album. The singer Natasha Walker was confused, because Tupac didn't allow her to get a copy of the album yet. He feared that it would leak and be all over the place. So that's why he didn't want anyone who was on the album to have copies of it. But Interscope, for whatever reason, gave several artists on Death Row copies of the album. And according to Natasha Walker and the rapper Swoop G, they studied that album and used some of the rhymes, beats, slangs, and ideas on Doggy Style, which came out later that year on November 23rd, before the planned release date of the album Thug Style, meaning Snoop Dogg would come out with Pac's ideas before him, making it seem like Pac is the one who drew inspiration from Snoop, even though it was the other way around. And nobody wanted to be labeled a biter back then, especially when you're the one who came up with all the ideas, and people try to use them before you. Pac had a line on MC Breed's song Gotta Get Mine, in which he said, I keep my mind on my money, money on my mind. which Snoop then copied on his hit single Gin and
I used to do it back in
Juice
the day.
off the upcoming album Doggy Style.
I keep my mind on my money, money on my mind. Laid back. With my mind on my money and my money on my mind. I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours.
You gotta get yours, but fool, I gotta get mine. See, everything is fine.
Gin and Juice is widely regarded as Snoop Dogg's best song. The album Doggy Style went to sell over 806,000 units in the first week alone, while Pac, with his second album that came out in the same year, only sold 38,000 units. Snoop sold over 25 times more records than him, while he's quote-unquote biting him. So of course Tupac was mad about it. They even stole the beat for G's and Hustlers off Snoop's album from Pac's song Lie to Kick It, which was produced by Warren G and recorded for the Thug Style album.
This is for the G's and this is for the hustlers. This is for the hustlers, now back to the G's.
Pac's song also features the rapper Richie Rich, who was actually the first person to use that sample.
Hey, okay, that Richie Rich. That Richie Rich who you listen to. Who you talking to yesterday. Okay, this Richie Rich. Okay, I'm gonna go back. So this Richie Rich. Chap was on his ass yesterday. They said that boy goddamn. This Richie Rich. Okay, that's Richie Rich. I'm going to my yesterday live. So that's Richie Rich. Let me find it. Tasha line there.
I done seen eviction notices before, man. Everything I do is positive, goddammit, because I'm still breathing. And I ain't on welfare. And I once was. You hear me?
Since you just straight on the real tip, homie, you got your boy right here, Richie Rich. Now, what y'all collaborating on right now, just to give it on the real, on what y'all doing now. Just on that tip.
That nigga was looking at that blunt so hard yesterday. Y'all was on his ass yesterday. Got that Richie Rich. If y'all want to see the Tupac personality, more of the personality, how he was with his homeboys, y'all make sure y'all check out the stream by me, yesterday's stream. What? Oh, this Ice Cube, okay. Orangey.
Back when he dropped the song Snitches and B with his group 415.
I'm glad I can give you some memories. That's the on point. Bring some of y'all memories back.
Both Warren G and Dr. Dre remade the beat that Richie Rich had in 1990.
That makes sense.
DJ Darrell, who was the producer of the group, was the first person to flip that sample. Tupac and Warren G wanted to do a tribute for them. That's why Warren G remade the beats so that Richie Rich can once again rap on the same beat, but this time with Tupac. The group 415 had a huge impact on rappers from the Bay Area.
We'll never get this type
Between
of
the late
music
80s and early 90s, Tupac lived in Oakland. So he was a huge fan of them, just like Warren G. But Richie Rich was also his homie. There's footage of them together in the studio. This was before Dr. Dre copied that beat.
And I be picking up the slack. It's all Tupac that it's nailed and grab the cat and the track.
Due to Snoop, the Dogg Pound and Dr. Dre having a copy of Pac's album before its official release, they were able to listen to it and steal ideas from it. Dr. Dre stole his stepbrother Warren G's beats by flipping the sample the same way he did, but without telling them anything about it. Pac at this point was still trying to work out a deal with Death Row, but all eyes were on Snoop. He was the main priority on the label. So in 1993, they soaked up everything Pac had to offer at that time and gave it to Snoop, which of course infuriated him and made Pac not want to join Death Row anymore. Pac felt like everybody was stealing his ideas, not only Dre and the people from Death Row.
Shit, you ain't gotta have me doing it. I love to do some research. Now I research the fuck out of some shit. I like to know shit. That's why I got y'all for y'all get to tell me what goddamn, you know what I'm saying? You said Tupac. You said Gutter record? How many record labels he got? God damn, I can't keep up. Out the Gutter, sometimes spelled as Out the Gutter, was a pressure record label and produced company funded by Tupac in 1993, author associated with his work on Interscope Records, referred to at his time at death. he used to produce his group Thug Life, his solo album Me Against the World. Oh, shout Chirac. We got Chirac here. Shout out, my baby. Appreciate you telling me that. I did not know that. Damn, bro. That nigga had so many record labels, bro.
Pro, but also the people on Bad Boy.
You said what's the name of the documentary? It's like I'm doing two of them. It's the y'all. Matter of fact, let me go to the person I get my documentaries from. 80%. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I got showing love too. Yeah, if y'all want to go out there and watch it on your own, I can go down. He called Hip Hop Universe. Hip Hop Universe. He got all the truth behind Tupac's murder and Diddy involvement. Tupac versus Biggie, Tupac, Dr. Dre, shit we doing now. How Biggie dissed Tupac after his death. How Tupac destroyed Biggie by sleeping with his wife. Hit him up this song. He got the 50 Cent. Why 50 Cent got shot 9 times. Eminem versus the Outsiders. We did that. We did a stream on that. And the Notorious B.I.G. versus Nas versus Jay-Z versus Wu-Tang and Big L. Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. Scandalous, bro. That might, I don't know why that shit be in my rotation, bro. Scandalous. That shit been in my rotation like a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna lie to him.
He somehow got his hands on the album as well. And they heard Tupac's Time to Get My Drink On, which they used for Biggie's Ready to Die album. It came out a year later on September 13th, 1994. Chucky Thompson and Puff Daddy used the same sample from the Isley Brothers for Biggie's hit record Big Papa, during a time when Pac was having difficulties with Death Row. I will cover Tupac's beef with Biggie in the next video, so stay tuned. Pac didn't want to sound like Snoop or Biggie, so he decided to scrap the whole album.
His label Interscope. I don't know, they were hating on Pac or something. I don't know why they had it out for Tupac, bro. They were giving that shit to Death Row and Bad Boy. That's why he kept changing. That's why Tupac would change his albums up and shit. But that's why Tupac. Y'all think Tupac was just getting mad for no reason and shit. That nigga was getting mad because the motherfucker was stealing his shit, bro. Like the Ready to Die. What is it called? Ready to Die? Is that the Biggie album, Ready to Die? When Tupac, Biggie was talking about death, he copied that shit from Tupac, bro. Because Tupac was the only artist that was talking about death.
And start from scratch.
They say my boy crazy.
Most of the songs on there didn't get released until after his death. For him, it felt like Death Row was trying to exploit and bully him. Because every time he had an idea, the people from Death Row were looking at him like a pack of hungry wolves that are ready to bite and rip off everything they can without Pac being able to do anything about it. So he felt betrayed and was fuming when Natasha Walker told him about it. He couldn't believe it. Snoop and the people from Death Row didn't necessarily have bad intentions. They just loved Pac's music and his style overall.
I know I keep stopping y'all, but you know why I say that shit? Because, after Pac died, a lot of these motherfuckers fell the fuck off. Even though they were biting for Pac, a lot of these rappers fell the fuck off. Like, even to the day, like, when the old school rapper drop an album, that shit's not gonna go hit like it used to hit. Like, Snoop Dogg, let's take Snoop Dogg for out. Snoop Dogg drop an album, they're not gonna hit like it used to hit. You know what I'm saying?
But Snoop, just like Biggie and everyone else, wanted to put out the best music possible
I don't know too much
and make sure that he'll blow up.
Hating on him, though.
Instead of dropping a half-assed album that people quickly forget about due to strong competition on the East Coast, the people from Death Row wanted to put everything the West Coast had to offer at that time into one album, by spying on other West Coast artists to improve their music. They wanted the West Coast to take over and leave the East Coast behind, even though New York is the mecca of hip-hop. The objective was to leave a mark on the world and to...
Hold on, you talking about Faith? You said Pop never slept with who? With Faith? Faith Evans? I don't know, everybody. I've been seeing a lot of interviews, you know what I'm saying? I believe, man, that damn Tupac, they motherfuckers slept. That nigga was them goddamn ladies, man. She gave it up. Faith didn't give a damn, but shit. Biggie cheated on her ass. She was out there sleeping like a motherfucker. But yeah, all the interviews I've been seeing from people that back in, even Ray J, they said she was on Tupac lap in the hotel. Like, bro, you in the hotel with Tupac and shit. You know what time it is when you in the hotel, bro.
To shake up the game with every album, so that everybody remembers the names Dr. Dre, Snoop Doggy Dogg, and the Dogg. They wanted to replace their rivals, Ruthless Records, as the face of West Coast hip-hop. And for that, they needed to drop more classic albums like The Chronic. They wanted to prove to Eazy-E that they're better off without him, by selling more on Death Row than on Ruthless Records. So that's why they were spying on Pac, who was just about to blow up, to use some of his momentum for themselves, so that they're the biggest thing in hip-hop. Pac scrapped the entire Thug Style album and decided to work on the Thug Life Group album instead. But he didn't want to release it on Death Row, as he felt like they were just trying to waste his time by making empty promises and screwing him over. Not because they wanted to harm him, but they were only thinking about themselves.
Y'all got me off
they were
track
actually
upstream, man. We all off track. We everywhere. I gotta go. They're gonna make me go to that interview. Hold on. Let me see. Can I find it? I have to find it. Is it this one? I think it's this one.
To put down on his house. And Stevie J was one of the two people who, you know, a nice courting period before you marry someone. But it wasn't a week. It was probably like six, 7 weeks, something like that.
What made you guys decide that, you know, that you guys should get married as opposed to, you know, continue to date?
Fact.
Well, we were young. We definitely, you know, had a very quick, you know, we definitely fell in love very quickly. But we were moving fast because we were young and we weren't thinking it out like that, you know. We didn't know
they say
he was about to blow up like that.
I got married. That's crazy.
My record was going to do well. We you know, we're both signed as artists, but neither one of us had necessarily, you know, seen success yet. So we just weren't thinking and moving fast, and we knew we were in love, and he said, I want to marry you, and I said, when? He said we could do it now, and I said, well, let me ask my friend who just got married upstate New York. He said it didn't take much, so within a week or two after he said that, we were married, but that wasn't when we met. So, you know, maybe that's where that story came from, the 7 days. But yeah, I mean, he told me he wanted to marry me after a couple of weeks of us hanging out, you know. So it seemed like a great thing to do. I mean, you know, I'm not mad I did. He's certainly my first true, you know, love of my life. So I'm not mad at it.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No boys.
You both had daughters at the time as well. Do you think that was part of the connection?
Maybe so. And, you know, I think I can definitely say I was attracted to his, first of all, sense of humor. That was the first thing that even caught my attention about him, aside from his confidence, you know, because I didn't know this guy. We met at a photo shoot, and it was just him, myself, and Craig Mack and Puff there. And I think we were waiting for Total to see if they were coming. I don't know. But by the time we started shooting, he had struck up conversation. He saw me looking at some photos I had just got developed, and it was like maybe my daughter's birthday party, I think. And he asked, you know, he
said he ain't look good to you? Lord, you said confidence is crazy. Confidence is crazy. You was like, damn.
jotted my number down, and I didn't know it off the little envelope from the photo place. So by the time we left the photo shoot, and he asked me could I drop his friends off, him and the guys off to Brooklyn, you know, he had already taken my phone number, so I didn't know that until he got out the car. And I think also he was a little intrigued by the fact that he saw me at this photo shoot with Hurricane G, who at the time was down with the Hit Squad, Eric Sermon's daughter's mom. She was a good friend of mine, and she had come with me to this photo shoot. So he probably was like, well, now how does she know her? Because he knew Gloria from Brooklyn, but I'm from Jersey, a church girl. You know what I mean? So he was probably trying to figure out my connection as well. But before, you know, the industry, Redman and I, you know, were really cool. So I knew Red already. So that's how I knew Gloria. So Big was probably like, dang, she knows her way around Brooklyn. You know, she knows her. So
I gotta ask quick too, since I got my ladies here. You know what I'm saying? So y'all would have been. Hold on. I don't, how am I gonna ask this? She said she would attract to him like confidence. Like, I don't know about that, twin. Like, I got that's like me, a girl that's confident. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, gonna be with her. Hell nah. You got a little something, look like something. You know what I mean? I mean, would y'all be attracted to be, for my lady, would y'all be attracted to be, he was funny, like, I think she said he was funny and his confidence. Like, I don't know, I know women think different, like, as far as, like, dating-wise. Do y'all think she was really attracted to Biggie, or she just knew he got there, he was gonna bad boy, he had money, and she was playing the long game?
He just was striking up conversation, and I think he was probably attracted to the fact that I kind of, from what it seemed to him, obviously had something going on for myself. Like, even aside from being a signed artist to Bad Boy, you know, he said he used to see me at the studio, but he thought I was somebody's, you know, a session singer or something. But all that time I was, you know, writing songs. Puff had me working on Mary's My Life album, Usher's first album, and a few other projects before my first album started being recorded. So, you know, he kind of saw that I had a little hustle and grind in me and had my little car, and you know, we were cracking jokes the whole way to Brooklyn. So when I dropped him off, he told me he was gonna call me, and I didn't, you know, like, I ain't give him my number, but he called me later on that day, so he had taken my number. So I thought that was pretty cute.
Look, they red flag already. Look, it was red. What she just said, that was a red flag right there. What she say? So he was chasing. Yeah, no, he can't chase.
Gonna call me, and I didn't, you know, like, I ain't give him my number, but he called me later on that day, so he had taken my number. So I thought that was pretty cute, and that kind of like was flattering and attractive. So we just started talking. And I started going to Brooklyn, and every day it would be, oh, what we gonna eat today? Or, you know, that's pretty much how our thing started.
I read through your book, and one of the stories that kind of stood out to me was you had found a Polaroid of a girl in Biggie's car, and you managed to look up her phone number and find out where her address is, and you went to this girl's apartment and beat her up.
Well, I didn't. Okay, yeah. There's layers to that story.
This is not hearsay. This is from your book.
Yeah, that's very true. But the funny thing is, which I also said, that we left from Puff's son's Justin's christening and jumped in a cab to go to this girl's house. Oh boy, but yeah, that was my wild and crazy days. Yeah, that's very true. But it wasn't by myself. And I didn't, like, you know, go and
too much information.
Put the schmurder on the girl or nothing. I actually had some accomplices.
Time out, red flag on the play. Hold on. A penalty, 20 yards back. I ain't even know all that to you. You know what I mean?
And we didn't probably even really hit her that much. I think it was just the whole scaring. That was just out of line. I ain't about to sit here and say that was cool to do at all. I mean, I know that was so out of line.
What's the other girl? The other girl bad though. Oh, there she go right there. Charlie. Her name Charlie Baltimore. She 50 years old, still bad. God damn. Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
Done so many, especially in that few year period right there with this guy Big, I definitely did some things and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, with, you know, some near death situations. Like somebody could have done anything to me.
Now, y'all heard that, right? What can be like near death experience she could have did? My thing hooking up Tupac, that could have been like a near death to me. Hold on, I'm gonna go back to y'all here. Y'all probably missed it.
Like, with, you know, some near death situations. Really hit her that much. I think it was just the whole scaring. You know, that was just out of line. I ain't about to sit here and say that was cool to do at all. I mean, I know that was so out of line. I've done so many, especially in that few year period right there with this guy Big. I definitely did some things and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, with, you know, some near death situations. Like somebody could have done anything to me. What was I doing? I was just a little too bold.
Look.
You know, a little too bold when it came to that man in my heart. But, you know,
yeah, she was testing him like a motherfucker. I forgot what interview she said I used to fuck mad niggas when I was little. Oh, she said that's why dick don't do nothing for me. I said, damn girl, how many niggas you fuck? Let me see, can I find it?
Oh, shit, I used to get my ass beat for sneaking out the window to go to somebody's studio that I didn't even, you know I was going to be a recording artist. So, you know. What? I used to fuck mad niggas when I was little. That's why dick don't really do shit for me now. Like, your dick don't really do shit.
That girl a freak. That girl loose. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You did all that. You ain't give Tupac. You crazy. I don't know who believe that shit. Oh, man. I don't know. We gonna wind that shit back for the people. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way in the hell. Then you got Stevie J.
That's why dick don't really do shit for me. So, you know. What? I used to fuck mad niggas when I was little. That's why dick don't really do shit for me now. Like, your dick don't really do shit. Wait, that came out. That came out. Wait, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. How you wanted that to come out? Wait, hold up. Shit. Wait, hold up. Wait. I got to start over. You know what that's my shit.
Nah, hell nah. They got her drunk. She drunk too. She meant that shit. You say you never knew that? That crazy right there. Yeah, you did. You fuck mad nigga. You little. You ain't hit Tupac. You crazy. Yeah. Everybody in the hood got no girl like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, she might well go get it at that damn point. Oh, yeah. I'm going to Gene Deal because that nigga funny as hell. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all don't know who Gene Deal. Gene is the ex-bodyguard of Biggie and Diddy.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas is thug life, nigga? What type niggas is thug life, nigga? Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas is thug life, nigga?
You said what she say? I'm gonna go back to it.
Oh, shit. I used to get my ass beat for sneaking out the window to go to somebody's studio that I didn't even, know I was gonna be a recording artist. So, you know. What? I used to fuck mad niggas when I was little. That's why dick don't really do shit for me now. Like, your dick don't really do shit.
Ooh, she probably win. She win. No wonder he married her. No wonder he married her and goddamn. You know what I'm saying? It say a week. What, 7 days? She was 10 big ass up. She one of them tight, but yes sir. You gotta get some goddamn what's called, what's the little thing y'all get, the little honey? Not the honey, but the honey pack. Shit, I had to get some honey pack for her, girl. Yes, sir. She be up all night on your ass. So when you wake up, she right there. You ready? Yeah, I gotta get 100 pack on her ass. She trained. She got them. You know, she professionalism. She been around. You know what I mean? She probably been through all the goddamn professional moves. Shit, you gonna have to go. You gonna have to go on website, look up some new moves for her. Yeah. Yeah. 10 big ass up. She did all that. She crazy as hell. I know it. It come with the crazy. I know it come with it. She like that. She crazy as hell. Yeah, motherfucker. Like I said, she gonna take that shit to her grave. She ain't gonna never tell the truth though.
Thug life, y'all don't
What's the interview?
What type nigga is the thug life, nigga?
Oh, here you go. Say 6 or 7.
Gene Deal, happy to have you back on the platform, man.
Man, sooner than what I thought. But listen here, bro. Last time I was on, I was talking about a bourbon that I own now. I own along with my man.
This is Gene Deal, ex-bodyguard of Diddy and Biggie, personal.
Bottle for you then, and now I got a bottle for you. Do this right now. So I'm gonna sign this bottle.
Oh shit, that made me. Matter of fact, I'll tell you before we get on that one. I'm in the order that shit. I'm gonna order that shit for the May the 8th. They got a goddamn wine or Tupac and that motherfucker. I will $15. I forgot how much it was. $15. They take $14.99. We gonna drink this. I'm gonna drink this shit on live with y'all. Y'all make sure y'all go y'all wine spot, get that American Most Wanted. Yeah, for the 30th anniversary. Yeah, we gotta get that. Make sure y'all get it. I'm gonna drink that on live with y'all.
Be a special bottle for you with my name on it, Big Gene.
You said what the fuck is that?
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. I'm not really a liquor guy, but I'm sure it's good though, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Matt, man, and Jesse. You know, listen here, bro. You enjoy it. If you enjoy it, I know you would, because it's a great bourbon, and
yo,
I have more bottles for you throughout the year.
Yes, indeed. That's love, man.
Stevie J. You understand? I was his personal bodyguard at the time when he used to move around in New York City. You know, Stevie J at one time was like a little nephew to me. You know what I'm saying? When he was working up at Bad Boy, making all those hits. You know what I'm saying? Me, BX, Murder.
I'm glad when you're first
being around Wolf, all of us.
You know.
Stevie J, when Puff had ostracized him and wasn't dealing with him no more, you know, I was still looking out for Stevie, being around Stevie the whole 9 yards. I know Stevie J to answer your question very well, brother.
Appreciate
very well. Man, listen to me. Stevie J was in the car with us when Big got murdered, brother.
He was in the car?
In the car behind us. I sold a chain that weekend to Stevie J that he didn't even pay me for the cross on it or nothing. You know what I'm saying? He gave me half the money. He took that same chain that I sold him, brother, and gave it to Faith the night that Big died, talking about he was giving it to little Chris. He didn't even own the chain at the time.
That's why you gotta be careful, boy. You know what I'm saying? It be your own home, boy. Especially your girl bad. Your girl bad. So you gotta watch your home, boy. But your girl bad. Shit. Your ass die. You might well wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta watch motherfuckers like that, boy. That shit crazy, bro.
So I know Stevie J real well. He could play those games like he don't know me, but he knows me very well. He just said a lot of clown shit on the internet about me. You understand? Talking about I got bad knees and all this other bullshit. Man, I kick Stevie J so far to that, he'll take shoe polish. I don't know when he became a fucking gangster. Excuse me for my language. I don't know when he became a gangster. He was talking all that gangster stuff and about 50 and what he'll do and how he was never that type of dude, bro, man. That's them drugs, man. That is them drugs. Stevie J better set his little ass down. He be the first nigga in the church. Everybody be come looking at him, and he wouldn't be making a sound. Do you understand me? He'll be the first nigga in the church, dressed better than everybody, and wouldn't be making a sound. Everybody be coming to see him. He ain't no gangster. He needs to stop that, bruh. He talking to people who was in the streets that was gangsters. And I'm just giving him like a formal, chastising to somebody that once used to care about him. It's the drugs, bruh. You know what I'm saying? 50 the type of dude that he don't want to mess with like that. He talking about he want to fight 50. Nigga, listen here. I'm taking all them bets. I'm putting my...
I ain't gonna lie. Everybody's scared of 50 Cent. I ain't gonna lie. Let's go ahead. I don't know what 50 Cent did though, but nobody want to fuck with 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying?
To whoop his ass on the way to a ring. And he wants to be out there with them cats. With a lot of money, but he switched sides. You understand? None of them. Right?
I thought you were gonna talk about Faith. This ain't the one you talking about Faith. I was trying to find the one you talking about Faith. There you go. Don't worry about the language.
How surprised was you when you seen them date Faith and Stevie J?
Yo, when Stevie J started messing around with Faith, I knew allegedly the drugs had got to her and the drugs had got to him.
Not a drug.
Is no way in hell corny ass Stevie J, cornball ass Stevie J, was anybody that I could ever see after knowing the dudes that Faith used to be around and used to be with. Now she's dealing with Stevie J.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, twin. It sound like you hating a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If he pulled it, bro. You can't hate on it now. He pulled it now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, matter of fact, is that wrong? Like say I'm your homeboy or homegirl, and your homegirl, your homeboy die. You know what I'm saying? You hook up with they goddamn, you know what I'm saying? They partner. Is that wrong or that's right? Or it wouldn't be wrong if you do that? I thought they made up. I thought T.I. made up with them. I seen the clip going around. He made up 50 Cent. I can't believe nothing. Everybody beefing these days. I don't believe nothing they be saying. I think they be trying to sell something. At the end, they always about they sell something. Say the voice now.
Oh, bro, cocaine is a hell of a drug. It's a hell of a drug. Cause cornball at Stevie J.
I want to ask you, if it's wrong, like we gonna say, so is it wrong for Stevie J to holler at Faith after Biggie died? Is that wrong for him to do that shit? Or you gotta wait a certain period? Or just your wife out? Like if she your wife, you know what I'm saying? If that's off limits. I want to know from y'all, like for my ladies, like, and my fellas though, if they like that's off limits. Your wife, if you my homeboy, and me and your wife cool, and you happen to die, then me and your wife get together. That would be wrong by me, or would you look at somebody like sideways for doing it? I believe it though. He look like he is. I ain't gonna lie.
Was anybody that I could ever see after knowing the dudes that Faith used to be around and used to be with. Now she's dealing with Stevie J. Yo, bro, cocaine is a hell of a drug. It's a hell of a drug. Because there's no way that a person that helped you produce music for your ex-husband and produce music for you singing your love to Big is a type of dude that you want to go back and be with them. I was shocked. Yo, bro, to be totally honest, man, yo, when I first saw Faith on stage at the Palladium, yo, she was drop dead gorgeous. Yo, I'm talking about drop dead gorgeous, brother.
Hey, you know somebody fine. You gotta squint your eyes with it. You know what I'm saying? You know the motherfucker. We got there. He had a flag bag right though. Yeah, squint his eyes.
Motherfucker, 2 pigs in a bucket. She was thick as thunder. She had the white, like silver. She had like the silver hot pants suit on, and she was singing. I was like, yo, damn, who the fuck is that? They said, yo, that's Big's wife. And I said, Big? Big's wife? And then I said, they said, yeah, that's Big's wife. I said, damn, what's wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? Because I used to joke like that. I said, damn, what's wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? They said, no, man, that's what they did. I was like, yo, man, leave that alone. But to see her with Stevie J, man, I was like, nah. And then, yo, Big was the type of dude that had mad charisma. When you get to know him and be around him, you can see why honeys go at him. Other than the fact they think he got a lot of money and he gonna spend that money because he gotta spend that money. You understand? Because him and his status.
How you gonna say he got charisma then throw shade at the same time? What the This nigga everywhere. How you gonna compliment man then throw shade at the same time? I know I'm gonna start using this shit. Thick as thunder. I gotta go back when he said this shit. That shit, she was thick as thunder. Damn, I ain't never heard that before.
Because him and his status, they get past all the looks and everything. You know, like, yo, man, leave that alone. But to see her with Stevie J, man, I was like, nah. And then, yo, Big was the type of dude that had mad charisma. When you was thick as thunder, she had the whitest brother. Motherfucking 2 pigs in a bucket. She was thick as thunder. She had the white, like silver. She had like the silver hot pants suit on, and she was singing. I was like, yo, damn, who the fuck is that? They said, yo, that's Big's wife. And I said, Big? Big's wife? And then I said, they said, yeah, that's Big's wife. I said, damn, what's wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? Because I used to joke like that. I said, damn, what's wrong with her? You know what I'm saying? They said, no, man, that's what they did. I was like, yo, man, leave that alone. But to see her with Stevie J,
oh shit,
man, I was like, nah. And then, yo, Big was the type of dude that had mad charisma. When you get to know him and be around him, you can see why honeys go at him. Other than the fact they think he got a lot of money and he gonna spend that money because he gotta spend that money. You understand? Because him and his status, they get past all the looks and everything. You know, to be totally honest with you. You understand? That's why, you know, his own man was jealous of him, D-Rock. You understand? I used to see girls scream and holler at Big and used to fall out on the floor crying. And then D-Rock used to say, Ma, you doing that for Chris? For Chris? I was like, yo, this nigga right here. But to see Stevie J go to Faith, man, listen to me. That's some asinine, backwards shit that you would never expect to happen. But that's the music industry. That's Hollywood. Anything could happen.
So for you, you look at it as portrayal.
No, I know some.
Portrayal.
I can't say that. I know some motherfucking people. I know some big dudes like motherfuckers. They be pulling bad motherfucking women, bro. Hell nah. I know some big dudes that, you know what I'm saying? You gotta say the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
At the worst, you can't even think of a word for that. Portrayal?
We talk to women.
Man, come on, man. All the women in this world, you understand? Now, if he was gonna just slide with her and lay with her here and there and not be out in the public eye and let nobody know, then all right, it is what it is. But to go and knowing that you wasn't gonna do right, knowing that you wasn't right, knowing that you ain't have a pot to piss in and a boot to pour it out, knowing that there's nothing that you could do. Come on, bro. Yo, that nigga was foul for that, bro. He was foul in so many different ways to deal with his partners. You know what? I wouldn't say him and Big was partners, but y'all was cool. Y'all was close. Y'all did music, you know, like that. You know, it's no way. You understand? You know, she could have been sitting there butt the F naked, and I wouldn't have touched her with a 10-foot pole, man, because I knew Big.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
I wish you
No
said it.
bullshit, bro.
I wish you said it. But they... Hold on, that made me... Faith in her prime. Let go on. Faith. Shit. In her prime. She was looking like this. You love him, man.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas? Thug life.
He crazy. I know he lying. He lying like a motherfucker. Ain't no in here. Shit. Oh damn, what was that picture of? Faith and Tupac. And then she married, bro. She knew the fuck. She already knew the game, bro. Especially this damn picture. She throwing up her damn wedding finger. She let that nigga know I got my wedding finger out. Biggie, I got my wedding finger out. I'm with the person you dislike. I'm with the person you beef. Like, you not finna do that shit, bro. Like, women know who you beef with, all type of shit before you got them do. Niggas that don't like, they'll tell you, but that nigga right there, he don't like you. You don't need to hang around him. Women, but you know what I'm saying? Women got them pay attention to that shit. Especially they like you. They pay attention to everything, bro. That's why I be like, favorite be lying, cause women pay attention to that shit, bro. Especially when they really like you and they want to get to know you. Women pay attention, like they know what all your favorite foods and what you drink. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he lying like a motherfucker. He talking about something. But nigga, you crazy head. Me and Biggie was gonna have to fight. I ain't gonna lie.
You understand? But you know, some people ain't got that kind of moral rights. You see how he do. You see what he's about. You know what I mean? There's no way. It's not a word that you can even think about that.
Hold up. Y'all. Hold up. We gotta look back at the picture. Look out Tupac looking. Can we get a closer picture? I'm gonna zoom in for y'all. I'm gonna zoom it in so y'all can see. Damn, that shit all in the way. In the 90s, they ain't give a damn in the 90s. That's how Tupac looking.
Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. This nigga's scared.
Like, bro, ain't no woman gonna do that shit with her wing. Hold the picture up. Like, you at least could do it like this. But you did like this with your wedding finger out. Like, yeah, nigga. Then she look like she was high too at the same time. Cause their eye going somewhere else. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Shit, women know. She know what the hell going on. Talking about she ain't sleep. You crazy. I don't know who worse, Tasha, Ayanna Jackson, or Faith. I think Ayanna Jackson was the worst liar. Yeah, that was when Tupac and they were beefing. That when he dropped, they hit him up too after that. Or they was in the studio. Wondering why you call your bitch. They look how Tupac looking right here. He got the shades on. I know you fucking lying. We just went on Twitter. Oh, please don't put on that shit on my shit. I got several pictures together, bro. Got the shades on. Then look, where Tupac's other hand at, bro? I know his other hand is on her waist right there, bro. Like, look, you see right here, look. Y'all see that shit? I'm gonna zoom in for y'all, bro. That's how you know, cause he wouldn't be that comfortable doing that shit. Like, y'all see that little white spot between like her armpit, sorry, like his hand right here. His hand on her waist. On the other side. See? Y'all see that little shit right there? I'm about to tell she lying like here, bro. Lying. Just be lying. I'm surprised nobody ain't saying nothing about this picture right here. Cause his hand like this. Holding her, bro. From the back, bro. You sound crazy here. Yo, well, we debunked that faith. We know you did it, cause they ain't. Cause I wouldn't be that comfortable doing this shit. Or if you married too, why would you do that shit? If you wasn't really fucking with Tupac like that, you wouldn't let him take no picture like that. Like for real. Yeah, she lied, twin. I'm gonna finish this up real quick. That nigga funny as fuck.
But what about her? You don't put some of the blame on her?
Well, I can't judge and put myself in a position to think nor feel what that woman could feel. I don't know. I can only give you from a man point of view. And a man point of view that's been around dudes and we all in the same clique all around each other. You understand? The girlfriends, the wives, all that shit's supposed to be off limit, no matter what she do. That's why I said she could be straight butt naked walking in the room ready. Nah, Ma, it's not happening. We're not doing this. Not at all. You understand? He got to be more man than that. He got to be more of a stand-up dude than that. That's not no local shit. That's not no regular shit. That's Faith Evans, a.k.a. the former Mrs. Biggie Smalls, the Notorious Big's wife. You can't do that.
No. If she got Steve J, you think Diddy didn't do that? You know how freaky Diddy is. I think Diddy had it too, bro. Diddy had it too, bro. Shit. You said G ain't no good? Yeah, he lying like mother. He just mad because he got it. Steve J got it first. I think Diddy had something. Diddy had it too. Ain't no in here. If Diddy got them went out Tupac ex-girlfriend got her pregnant, you think he ain't go out fake? Crazy. Shit. Diddy went out goddamn Tupac ex-girlfriend got her pregnant. Think he ain't go out fake? Shit. But what Charlie, she better. She look way better than goddamn Faith in my opinion. Come, let's slide back to Ice Cube.
He got so far because of OGs like him.
Like he did, though.
He knows that Pac was inspired by him. Cube is a very competitive MC. He would never admit that Tupac was better or on the same level as him. Cause Pac doesn't even appear in his top 20.
Oh my goodness.
It would have been impossible to do an NWA reunion with Tupac and Cube in the same group. They tried bringing back the old NWA crew after Tupac had passed.
Oh yeah, some haters.
They wanted Snoop to replace Eazy-E and brought back MC Ren. Only songs they were able to put out were Hello and Chin Check, recorded between 1998 and 1999. All the other songs they recorded never saw the light of day. So they once again were forced to cancel their plans of reviving NWA. The members of the group had little chemistry and were too competitive for it to work. Everyone wanted to do their own thing and be the number one in their own lane. Dre had his label Aftermath and had signed Eminem. Snoop became a No Limit soldier and wanted his own label. MC Ren was past his prime and Cube wanted to do movies. So everyone just went their separate ways and they were overall just too big to do another NWA album. Everyone wanted to shine on their own without getting too close with each other. That had been the case since the NWA breakup. Their friendship suffered because of their competitiveness and their egos. And that was also the problem between Cube and Pac.
He turned to me today, I go, can you write to this? Right. Security, can I write to this? Is you crazy? I had to stop and go, Dre, you do not know how long I waited to get in this booth. And I have Dre out there going, you ready? You know what I mean? I waited all my life for that, so straight out of Compton.
Pac was a huge NWA fan. He had always looked up to them. That's why he was excited to work with Dre. But once he got to know him, outgrew him, and once Dre left the label, it was kinda like when Cube left NWA. He was seen as a traitor. Pac had worked with Cube in the past too. And then he sabotaged his song Dear Mama. So the respect he had for people who inspired him, like Dre and Cube for example, slowly started to fade away. He had become too big of an artist to look up to people he felt were below him, especially when they did him dirty. Cause that's how Pac felt about Cube. He had a song on the album All Eyes on Me called 2 of America's Most Wanted, which originally was supposed to be a Snoop Dogg song, the lead single to his upcoming album The Dogfather. But again, all eyes were on Pac, so he absorbed everything Death Row had to offer at that time and used it to get himself on top.
You really think that? You say Tupac is really mid after hearing so many doper MCs? Who is the MCs? Let me know. I want to know the MCs you. Puppet. Yeah, Eminem is harder than Dr. Dre, Snoop, and Ice Cube. In my opinion. Garbo, you crazy. Eminem hard as fuck. See, a lot of people don't sit down and you gotta sit there and just really listen to what he's saying. So I did Eminem versus Outlaws, and that motherfucker, that white boy can spit, but I said, God damn, that boy can spit.
The song was supposed to be Snoop Dogg solo and called America's Most Wanted, the same as Ice Cube's classic debut album from 1990. The project was named after the debut single of that album. In Cube's song America's Most Wanted, he's rapping about a criminal life that catches up with a wanted man. Pac and Snoop did the same thing on their song. They rapped about a criminal life, them getting acquitted of murder and assault charges and fighting in court for their freedom. Cube felt like Pac and Snoop were copying him, but they were at the same time way more successful. So this was the second time now that Cube felt like Pac was biting him. First with the song Dear Mama and now with 2 of America's Most Wanted. Pac didn't see it as biting. One song was a dedication to his mother and the other was a collab with Snoop. Pac thought that it was the other way around, that Cube was actually stealing ideas from him. Accused him of stealing his whole swagger. The bandana, even though it seems like Cube had it first, the W hand sign, the frequent use of the phrase West Side, his war mentality, his mafioso style, and he also thought that the group West Side Connection is a ripoff of Thug Life. It's not clear if Cube stole the West Side hand sign from Pac. Cause on his song Enemy off the album Lethal Injection in 1993, he said that he's throwing up the W.
Now I change my style up, bodies pile up, just a trouble you throwing up the W.
Cube fans always used this line to defend him. They also sampled that line on August 95 on the song West Up from the group Dub C and the Mad Circle, which also features Mac 10 and Ice Cube.
West C affiliate, yeah.
Going up the W. Going up the W. Ain't no party like a West Side party.
This was before Pac came out of prison in October 95. Cube wasn't really known for that until Pac started doing it frequently on his shows, covers, pictures, in interviews and also in music videos. The first time Pac saw Cube throw up the W was on the cover of the May 96 issue of the Source magazine, and then later in the Bow Down music video. This was months after Pac dropped his All Eyes on Me album with that iconic cover of him forming a W with his right hand and using his other hand to show off his Death Row necklace. And that's why Pac thought he was biting him. Cube didn't really pose like that prior to the All Eyes on Me album. Pac was also making fun of Cube for not forming the W correctly, like he does. He thought Cube was trying to imitate him. The W that everyone uses nowadays is closer to the one Pac used, hiding the thumb behind the hand so that there are only 4 fingers visible. Cube, on the other hand, never did it like Pac did. Always held his thumb close to the index finger, and didn't hide it behind the hand to make it look more like a W. Both wanted to set a trend with their W signs, so that there's only one way to do it, the right way. Most people use the sign Tupac used, and he's the first person that comes to mind when thinking about the West Coast sign. Cube throwing up the W right after Tupac made it popular made it almost seem like he's trying to use the wave Tupac started for himself, after sabotaging Tupac's song Dear Mama and not reaching out to him. As for the phrase West Side, Cube used it years before Pac even came to Death Row. On the song You Know How We Do It, for example, which came out in 1993. People also accused Cube of biting Pac's war mentality. But the West Side Connection was already doing pro-West / anti-everybody type of songs before Tupac came out of prison. Like for example on the songs Faux Life and West Side Slaughterhouse on Mac 10's album, which came out in June 1995. Or on the song West Up, which was on the Dub C and the Mad Circle album, released in August 1995. This whole you better respect the West or else type of rapping.
Check him out.
The West Side Connection was already doing that. Treating the West Coast like a gang almost, while making bold statements like hip-hop started in the West or that they rule hip-hop.
Mac 10, you know y'all rule hip-hop, Ben. Just got la rock, you know y'all rule hip-hop, ayy. Yes, D-Nice, you know y'all rule hip-hop, ayy. Mac 10, you know y'all rule hip-hop, Ben. Wait a minute, that ain't how the West Coast rock. Look at hip-hop started in the West. Ice Cube bailing through the East without a vest. You know what's up? In the East, we can be brothers, but when you come to L.A., watch them loud-ass colors, West Side.
The East-West conflict existed since around 1991. So it wasn't something that Tupac and his label started. But they certainly were the most direct and aggressive ones. They had the biggest impact and were the most important figures of the conflict. Cube's jabs at the East Coast on West Side Slaughterhouse in 1995 didn't really leave a mark compared to Tupac's Hit 'Em Up. Tupac didn't even acknowledge Cube's diss record as fuel for the East-West war. He didn't think of them as generals of the war, so to speak. He thought of them as trend followers, not as leaders. People that try to use his wave for success. Cause before Hit 'Em Up, none of the anti-East Coast diss records were bringing people on the West together. Cause radio hosts and rappers on the East would always make fun of the West. Intercoastal conflicts were always treated as disagreements and beefs between individuals. It wasn't marketed and promoted as a coastal beef, one coast versus the other, until Pac and Big got involved. Cube's movement wasn't big enough to accomplish that. So when Cube dropped the song Bow Down in August 96, Pac thought he was trying to ride his way.
So you being studio gangster? So y'all think Ice Cube? I know Dr. Dre's studio gangster, but so Ice Cube studio gangster. I heard he ain't from Compton. He from what? I forgot what the fuck he from. He ain't from Compton, I think. I forgot what the fuck he from.
West Side Connection wasn't as radical as Tupac.
Yeah, I can't say they went biting goddamn Tupac. Now you know who the hell else would tie their damn back down like this? Shit's all territory out there. Oh, why though? Fuck that. Only thing I can say about this shit, man, this shit destroyed so many, as far as like the gangs, that shit destroyed so many families, bro. Cousins, sisters, grandpa, little babies, that shit's crazy, bro.
And the Outlaws. They didn't really go directly at the East. What Cube made clear, however, is that nobody can disrespect the West without consequences. Like against Common Sense in A Tribe Called Quest, for example. Pac's beef was way more personal. Cube never crossed the line. They always played fair. They didn't really have underlying hatred for the East like Pac and Death Row did. Cause the people on the row saw them as their mortal enemies, like I explained in my recent video, the reason why Diddy killed Tupac. People lost their lives, and that's why Death Row went to that extreme. Pac was ready for smoke and ready to battle anybody. If you actually do your research, you'll find out that Pac was screaming F New York on records like NY87, for example. Cube and the West Side Connection were only defending their coast. It was all friendly competition to them. But Pac, seeing them make the slightest move against the East Coast, made him think that they're trying to ride his wave. Between 1994 and 1995, Cube believed that his style was starting to become outdated. He began making adjustments in an attempt to regain his mainstream relevance in some shape or form. He didn't want to get left behind by the Snoops, Dre's, Pacs, and Bigs of the world. And a lot of people have accused...
I don't know what the fuck. They had a vendetta out against Tupac. I think Haitian Jack and them got down. In my opinion, I think Haitian Jack and Jimi Hendrix, they made everybody in New York turn against Tupac. In my opinion, because Tupac's born from New York. I wonder why Tupac couldn't be born from New York. Like he couldn't be the king of New York. But like I said, he broke out. He got big on the west side with Oakland. So I always question like why New York didn't like support like. I know some people in New York like at this time when we got them fucking with Tupac. I'm like how they were fucking with Biggie. Like why New York wasn't like pushing like Tupac more. And he from there, you know what I'm saying?
Him of stealing ideas from other MCs in hope that he can use them to catch up to everyone else. That's how the beef with the West Coast rap group Cypress Hill started. They accused him of stealing the hook of his song Friday from Cypress Hill's song Throw Your Set in the Air. He was facing biting accusations from all directions, not just from Tupac. Ice Cube was starting to get overshadowed and outsold by artists from all around the US. So Pac thought he was trying to profit off of the East Coast-West Coast beef by becoming part of it, so that the magazines and the media put their names next to the protagonists of the conflict, meaning next to Tupac and Biggie. After Tupac released his song Hit 'Em Up against like a dozen rappers on the East Coast, and after slowly evolving into a mafioso rap type of artist with his alias Machiavelli the Don, Pac was under the impression that Cube tried to copy that formula by calling himself the Don of the West Coast and by dissing other artists.
About to drop the bomb, I'm the West Coast Don. Big fish in a small pond.
Pac knew that Cube called himself the Don before he came out of prison, and before he changed his name to Machiavelli the Don. Cube started doing that.
I'm just like, I'm curious. Like, I knew everybody back then probably knew where Tupac was from. I was just curious about that. Like, I think either that or that when he went on that New York, when he went on that what is called Soul something, and he was like, "Fuck y'all." When he born on stage, he was like Thug Life. He had all the red. He had the red hat on and red outfit on. He said Pac was smart, educated, plus he could freestyle. His flow was way better than theirs. You know what I'm saying? We going back and forth between Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. But yeah, think about it. Like just like when Tupac died, everybody fell off. Nobody couldn't bite nobody. Snoop Dogg couldn't carry. He couldn't carry no death row after Tupac died. Nobody on death row could. That's why Biggie got them came back number one.
Trying to be cool with Pac the whole time, wanted to get even by featuring him on soundtracks and helping him financially.
I believe that.
But Pac was annoyed by that.
I believe that.
And thought that he'll just continue doing his own thing without Dr. Dre and Death Row. He actually thought of working things out with Eazy-E and getting him to sign the group Thug Life to Ruthless Records. In late '93, Eazy-E signed the group Bone Thugs and Harmony, since Sim and his manager Jerry Heller thought that it would turn out to be a highly lucrative deal. They got rid of a lot of the older artists on that label and wanted to focus on Eazy-E's solo career and also on Bone Thugs and Harmony. At this point in time, Pac was still trying to put together not only his third album, but also a group album with Thug Life. Like mentioned earlier, they created multiple versions between 1993 and 1994, which either got rejected by Interscope or scrapped by Tupac himself. But until early '94, Pac would reach out to Eazy-E in hope that he could get himself a deal, so that Thug Life gets signed to the label, and that Eazy-E puts an end to the censorship of Pac's music, because he felt like Interscope was holding him back, that he can't express himself the way he wants. Again, Pac wanted to join the label that was repeatedly dissing Death Row and Dr. Dre, promising Eazy-E that he would help him out and diss them as well. He sent him one of the earlier versions of the Thug Life album, which E and his girlfriend Tamika Woods listened to. Eazy-E's girlfriend later became the CEO of the company. She told Eazy-E that she doesn't like Tupac's music, and that Bone Thugs and Harmony is better. That Bone Thugs is a better group than Thug Life. During those days, Pac also had a lot of negative press and
oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Fuck, she was talking about. I love Bone Thugs and Harmony. Man, hell nah. Boom, 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 boom. Tell me what you gonna do when ain't nowhere to run. When Jimmy come for you. I got to do a Bone Thugs and Harmony stream. I think I'm doing Tupac when Tupac and Bone Thugs, they were beefing that once. I'm gonna look into that more. I'm gonna do a Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Drama surrounding him, especially the Ayanna Jackson assault case, which could get him some jail time. Why would you sign a guy who's about to go to prison? That's what they thought. Eazy-E's manager Jerry Heller thought that Pac would only cause trouble, and that signing him would only be a waste of money. According to Eazy-E's then girlfriend Tamika Woods, Pac went to E's house, knocked on the door, and asked him to sign him. But Eazy-E said no and closed the door. That was their last conversation. Pac got mad when he heard Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Y'all can keep saying Tupac gay, bro. Really ain't gonna listen to what the fuck y'all saying.
For the first time, and thought that they were biting him. Two groups with the word thug in their name. Bone Thugs and Harmony and Thug Life.
I don't know what the fuck he talking about.
Looking on TV, they go, wait a minute. Didn't I already hear a group called Thug something? I already heard about some kind of thug something on TV. Who is Thug Life? This the original. We are the original thugs. I want to get to be real again.
After that, there were no plans of working with Ruthless Records. But in 1994, the people from Death Row kept reaching out to him and wanted to put his music on movie soundtracks. This was not on.
Look, I'm going now. I'm gonna time your ass out. Cause I do got some people that, you know what I'm saying, swing that way. I don't want to feel like they disrespect at the end of the day. Everybody got their own opinion, but yeah, I got that. I had to get that motherfucker out of there real quick. So my people, y'all swing the way, bro. We ain't gonna. I don't disrespect. I love all people, bro.
Only an opportunity for him to get free promo, but he would also get paid for the individual songs instead of releasing an entire album on the label. So he would work with Death Row without being signed to that label. This way he could continue releasing albums on Interscope while occasionally working with Death Row as a side hustle. Cause he wasn't really trusting them after they sabotaged his third album. According to his family, Tupac didn't really want to sign to Death Row anymore in 1994. So the plans they had in 93 of him joining the label were a thing of the past now. Only work he did for Death Row in 94 was him handing in a couple of songs and then getting paid for them by Suge Knight. He gave them the songs Pour Out a Little Liquor, Pain and Loyal to the Game for the Above the Rim soundtrack, which was released on March 22nd, 1994. 7 days prior to the release of the soundtrack, meaning on March 15th,
it don't matter what it is. That's why they got my channel, bro. People gonna disrespect Tupac, bro. They was in celebrity anyway. You feel me? I get that shit like almost every stream, bro. Some people troll, some people just, I don't know, they be on some other shit. For a black man that stand up for his people and shit, nigga, he got right or wrong, I'm gonna ride with that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? Cause everybody ain't gonna have the same opinions as you, bro. Everybody gonna have different opinions. Then you gotta think about it. Everybody grew on different music. Like my bro, what bro is? He was talking about all the West Side people. See, he grew up on the West Side. You know what I'm saying? Everybody grew everywhere different though. He said cancel their ass. Oh, I put that nigga in timeout. I ain't gonna lie. 'Cause you know, we got people that we ain't gonna be saying that shit. People got them gay and shit. We ain't gonna be saying that shit. Say that you can say suspect, like you say you was suspect or some shit like that. But like I think that's pretty disrespectful. So you gotta treat everybody as one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I know, in my heart, my boy didn't swing that way. You know what I'm saying?
Went to the Above the Rim release party and met Dre, Snoop, the Dog Pound, the Lady of Rage, and Jewel from Death Row. Pac then continued to work on the group album Thug Life, and also on his third studio album, while facing assault charges which could get him locked up for a couple of years.
A movie or something.
He wanted to record as much music as possible, in fear that he won't be able to release music and make money while he's locked up. On April 25th, 1994, both Tupac and Dr. Dre attended the 94 Source Awards in New York. Dre and Snoop won most of the awards that night, but they had a feeling that the people from the East Coast had a problem with them. Because the only rappers from the East Coast who won awards that night were...
They the one that be really feminine, because you and your feelings about that shit. So they really make you feminine. Like, what? As man, you pay attention to that shit. It's suspect to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's up, brother? How you doing? Like, motherfuckers just want to debunk, because when motherfucker great, bro, they gonna always have the motherfucker they just, you know what I'm saying? Try to tear motherfuckers down and shit, bro. Y'all just mad that man was great, bro. That man didn't even live that long, bro. I don't be caring what folks be saying about Tupac, bro. I'm gonna ride with Tupac, bro.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit.
They like when motherfuckers say you're a fake thug and shit. When y'all don't understand the word, I have to keep going through that shit at my stream. The word thug, it doesn't mean being a thug, like being out there robbing people and shit. He said that shit in multiple interviews. You know motherfucker don't be doing that research. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go over and say we're gonna go back to the meeting again. Cause motherfuckers just keep saying that shit. We gotta get the meaning of thug life. Said Joe the Breeze. Hey, they used to call me at school. They said I look like Joe the Breeze. I didn't drop the breeze. Them boys got work.
It's all about that thug life, and they think thug life is a rap group. No. Thug life is just some old deep shit that you can't sink your feet in. It's Richie Rich. It's my nigga Snoop Dogg. It's my nigga the Governor. It's my nigga Warren G. Everybody's on this motherfucker. On this Thug Life album, we got my nigga Spice One, Psych, Mac 10, Rated R. I got niggas from all over the hood, from all over the rap industry, and they all good. And it's all on this motherfucker because it's all about that thug life. It's all about niggas coming together and making papers of what we can do best. And that's game these motherfuckers. And that's straight check these white motherfuckers and put our motherfucking bid down. We been doing it. We do it every motherfucking day. The game is motherfucking free. But shit, we need to start making some money off of it. All these motherfucking white kids, they want to be G's? Well shit, let me raise you young motherfuckers. Come get a slice of this old shit. You hear me?
Oh, they had to get a mean name. If he was a fake gangster, a lot of gangster motherfuckers wouldn't rock with him though. How that made sense? If y'all say he was a fake gangster, all the hood niggas in the hood would not love Tupac, bro. Man, that made sense to me.
It's Tribe Called Quest, the Wu-Tang Clan, and KRS-One. The rappers on the West Coast, however, won 7 awards in total. 3 for Dr. Dre, 2 for Snoop, 1 for MC8, and 1 for Ice Cube. So rap fans from New York were upset that the West Coast took over. They were outshining the rappers on the East Coast. Like, for example, the New York rap group Onyx, which was nominated in 5 categories, but they didn't win in any of them, even though they were the most hyped rap group at that point in time. I mean, they went platinum in just 7 months. Not even the Wu-Tang Clan was selling that much. The audience, which was of course filled with New Yorkers, had a problem with the West Coast winning more awards than the people from the East Coast. So they started booing them. And on top of that, when the New York rap group A Tribe Called Quest won the award for Best Artist of the Year in the group category, and then attempted to hold a speech giving props to the pioneers of hip-hop, Tupac all of a sudden interrupted them by rushing the stage with like 100 people rapping the song.
He going off some shit when he was a teen and shit. Like, I ain't just from that nigga talking about. Be honest.
Out on bail in front of them, while they were in the middle of their speech. The whole time, A Tribe Called Quest was standing there in shock, not knowing what to do for like 3 minutes straight. As if they are held hostage by a group of thugs. Tupac had a super aggressive delivery during that performance, yelling "Thug Life" and "F y'all mother effers" before throwing away the microphone.
A nigga shoot at 2 goddamn polices. Ain't a thug to me. I don't know what the fuck you think. I don't know your definition, twin. I don't know your definition of thug. Matter of fact, I want to know your definition. What's the definition of a thug, nigga, bro? A nigga that shot 2 police because they were harassing a black man, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shit, if y'all don't like this shit, y'all know y'all in a Tupac fucking fan base, bro. My channel is nothing but Tupac. Go take your ass to Biggie, Eminem, or your favorite rapper, bro. Y'all go on Nate streams or whatever. Over here, we ride with Tupac. I don't give a damn nobody say. Hello.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah. Fat. Niggas weird. They love saying them thug. He ain't no thug, motherfucker. Nigga, that's some thug ass shit for you to goddamn shoot at 2 motherfucking police. Who the fuck gonna do that shit? You name one rapper, they gonna do that shit right now. Or have done that shit and got off with that shit. Had the government on his ass, bro. Like, bro, hell nah, bro. Fuck what y'all talking about.
As if he caused chaos and sabotaged the show intentionally to scare and humble A Tribe Called Quest and the people from the East Coast, showing them that he doesn't respect them. Q-Tip supposedly cried when that happened. But Pac didn't do it on purpose.
I'm waiting on
his
somebody.
music started
I'm
playing.
waiting on somebody to debunk me on that shit. Like, bro, who you know who does shit like that? Because they black, bro. Who you know in the hood that's gonna shoot at 2 police because they mess with another brother? Everybody gonna be looking or have their phones out. That's the most thuggish thing I can see, to be honest. Besides killing each other. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be weird, bro. Yeah, we ride parking this motherfucker.
So he got on stage thinking it's time to perform. There was a heated back and forth behind the scenes between rappers from the East Coast and from the West Coast. And Tupac had to explain himself because everybody thought that he did it on purpose. He met Dre there too. And Dre was annoyed by how people from the East Coast treated him. So when he got back to LA, he recorded the intro to the Murder Was the Case soundtrack, in which he was more or less dissing the East Coast. He also gave Tupac's group Thug Life a shout-out, after that whole incident with A Tribe Called Quest. Death Row still wanted to sign him.
Yo, what's up? This is Dr. Dre. And before we get into this album, there's a few things I gotta say. Now, I just got a tape of the 1994 Source Music Awards. And for everybody that wasn't there or didn't hear about it, a lot of niggas from the East Coast was talking ish about where hip hop started, hip-hop and all this shit.
First of all, I like to think
that's some gangster shit, though. You shoot at somebody, right? That was gangster shit, right? That what we call gangster shit. We shoot at people. I'll wait. Then nigga went to every hood, bro. This nigga went in dangerous fucking hoods, bro. and Watts and all them types of goddamn neighborhood. Who the fuck gonna do that shit? It was cool drinking, smoking with them motherfuckers, bro. I don't know what the fuck y'all niggas talking about. Cause none of y'all wouldn't be doing it. None of y'all take y'all ass over there in LA and be with them Crips and blood hoods and shit. Ain't nobody wouldn't about to do that shit. Hell nah. That nigga did that, bro. I don't know. Y'all tripping, bro.
And dedicate this to DJ Kool Herc for starting hip hop, which a lot of motherfuckers out there and the rest of the other side of the world, wherever, don't know about. So I definitely want to dedicate that to him, African Bambaataa, and all the crews that started hip hop.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's happening with all this East Coast, West Coast. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. All this bullshit, y'all shit.
He more gangster than goddamn Snoop Dogg, my goddamn mama.
Just like selling cocaine.
Ice Cube and all them, to be honest.
Check this out. If you ain't down with Death Row, the Dog Pound, Thug Life, the motherfucker Lips Mob, the West Coast, my niggas down south, or anybody trying to keep hip hop music alive.
Yo, motherfucker. Yeah, bro. Yo, that Thug Life and non-phobia. Thug Life in this mother.
The intro got scratched from the soundtrack and Pac didn't get to hear it. Then in July 94, Pac got into a disagreement with Dre's homie Ice Cube, with whom he was working on an album together called Helter Skelter. Years after the two went their separate ways when NWA disbanded. I covered Pac's beef with Cube in my beef analysis video, which I recommend you checking out. It explains why Pac lost respect for all his idols from NWA. Cube sabotaged a song he was working on called Dear Mama in July 94, at a time when Pac didn't really know what to do with his third album. He wasn't sure which direction to take, after scrapping earlier versions of the album. He was evolving so fast as an artist that every album he worked on sounded different compared to the previous one. His music was a reflection of his life, and he went through many ups and downs in a very short amount of time. That's why every album follows a different theme. Thug Style was supposed to be his third album. After scrapping and redoing the project, it sounded nothing like what he had originally envisioned for the follow-up of his sophomore album. His music became a lot more serious, and most of those old tracks didn't match the overall theme and sound of the new ones. With songs like Dear Mama, So Many Tears, Me Against the World, Lord Knows, and If I Die Tonight. They don't sound like anything from the Thug Style album, so he couldn't use any of those songs, or else the album would be all over the place. His music became more poetic and meaningful. People like Dre and Snoop were part of the reason why Pac had to constantly reinvent himself, in order to not sound like a biter or an unoriginal copycat. He wanted to make sure that he dropped something fresh, original and unique, without the people from Death Row being able to copy it. So he made a personal and introspective album that revolves around the problems he's facing right now. He had a lot on his mind back then. The Ayanna Jackson assault case, gangsters like Haitian Jack threatening him, the problems he had with the police, him thinking that people will come to kill him. That's why his music became so serious.
Nigga, he had to worry about Haitian Jack and them, the police, the government after him and shit. God damn, people on the west side. God damn, he be with Ice Cube and Dr. Dre. God damn. I know that motherfucker was straight. Then the case he got. I don't care what they say, Tupac. They don't never make me hate you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He changed the track list, the concepts, the themes, and even the name of the album. Again and again, not knowing what to do. Cause it obviously had to be better than the one he scrapped. He went from Thug Style to Thug for Life, to Street Fame, to Troublesome, to Stay True, to Are You Still Down, to Me Versus the World, and then finally to Me Against the World. Pac's style and sound was changing drastically from the...
Give me a hell yeah! What?
Fit no man but God, bro. That's why I feel like he ain't fit no man but God, bro. As I walk through the valley of death. You know what I'm saying?
Original Thug Style album to the Me Against the World project. Cause this could have been his last album, depending on the outcome of the assault case. And Pac still had a lot of things that he wanted to say, at a time when he felt that the whole world was against him. In August 94, he then recorded the song Life's So Hard. thought of adding it to the Thug Life album, which was supposed to drop a month later. The beat was originally done by his best friend Big Stretch from the Live Squad. But then the people from Death Row once again got their hands on Pac's unreleased music, without him knowing. Snoop and the rapper Swoop G listened to the original version of the song Life So Hard in Snoop's Chevy Suburban, and they loved it. According to Swoop G, they always studied Tupac's style to use it for their own music, and Pac really had a problem with that. Like mentioned earlier, Interscope always gave copies of Pac's unreleased music to the people from Death Row, without Pac knowing. Tupac actually started fights with the people from Interscope because of that, and they always told him that they didn't leak his music. So either they were lying, or Death Row had a spy at Interscope working for them. They then reached out to him again and convinced him to do a remix for the song Life So Hard.
Wow, one day I'm gonna come on stream on y'all niggas. I'm gonna come here bald headed in the motherfucker with a bandana and shit. I already got no ring, so that shit, yo, I'm gonna come on that motherfucker. If y'all seen my post, y'all already seen what I look like when I'm bald headed. I'm gonna come on stream like that one day.
For the Murder Was a Case soundtrack. And Dre was listed as the executive producer of that album.
Oh, shit, I'm tripping.
According to the rapper Swoop G, Pac was in the studio with Snoop and the Dog Pound when they made the remix for the song. They used the beat by Daz Dillinger from the Dog Pound, which in my opinion ruined the whole vibe of the song. It was all over the place.
Why the fuck? Idi Amin denied that Tupac's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I know you fucking lying. Why the fuck he was denied? Y'all ain't want the Outlaws in there? Oh, hell nah, twin. I'm gonna do that for another stream. I gotta look at this shit. Shout out to England. Oh, I know you lying. Nationwide is on your side.
Give me a hell yeah.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. That means a lot to me.
But they thought it was the right move, since the production was originally handled by East Coast rap artist Big Stretch. So the song had an East Coast vibe to it. They wanted to do it Death Row style, with a West Coast sound. The East-West rivalry was a thing even back then. And the people on Death Row wanted their music to sound different from rappers on the East Coast. They always had outstanding, unique and trend-setting production that was very influential for the artists on the West Coast. So they wanted to add a funky West Coast twist to Life So Hard, but that song in particular was ruined in the process. They re-recorded the intro, outro and the verses. Snoop also added background vocals and ad-libs in the end. The song was originally supposed to be dark, sad, emotional, introspective, heartfelt and deep. But they tried to turn the song into a West Coast banger, with a funky beat and an aggressive vocal delivery, which didn't even fit the content of the lyrics and the theme of the song. It's like using the vocals for Brenda's Got a Baby over the beat for two of America's Most Wanted, rapping aggressively like on Hit 'Em Up. Tupac only did the remix because he needed the money. He probably knew that the remix is terrible. And the worst part is that Snoop and the Dog Pound didn't speak up when they ruined the song, cause they actually loved the original version of it. They once again sabotaged him, even if they didn't mean to. That cheap Daz remix was so bad that they didn't even use it for the soundtrack. And they couldn't use it for the Thug Life album either, cause the soundtrack came out after the group album. It could have been one of Tupac's greatest songs. The original version is actually Idi Amin's favorite Pac song of all time. Idi is Tupac's brother-in-law and one of the members of Pac's group Dramacidal, which later became Outlaws.
How the fuck he was denied though? He said he was denied it. How one of the Outlaws denied that Hall of Fame list?
Yes. We're back with another edition of Idi Amin's Talk My Truth.
Oh, for hell. I'm yelling no.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. Listen, this one is going back, and I'm going to discuss a topic that happened back in 2017.
Matter of fact, I want to go. Damn, should we do this one? I'm gonna come back to this. Yeah, Brenda Got a Baby. We're gonna go to Brenda Got a Baby. We gonna go to the girl that was Brenda. I meant to do that shit earlier.
What type nigga is the thug life nigga?
For y'all don't know, this Brenda Got a Baby. That's how she look now. For y'all don't know, I'm gonna go to the video. Ooh, shit. Oh, the little girl. The girl right here. Damn. She gonna talk about the most part in Oakland for the Tupac. The girl that was in Brenda Got a Baby. I gotta find the goddamn video again. God damn it. Fuck, I added it. Tupac's Brenda Got a Baby after breaks her songs 30 years later and reveals shocking details.
Great.
My name.
Pop was more than just a rapper. He was in.
We got a special guest in the building right now. So if you don't mind, let the people know who you are and let the people know your affiliation with Tupac.
Hi everyone, how you doing? And how are you doing today, sir?
Doing great.
My name is Ethel Love. It's a pleasure meeting you all and being in y'all comforts today in your home. My name is Ethel Love, also known as Brenda in the notorious video with the legendary Tupac Shakur. Brenda Got a Baby.
Give me a hell yeah.
Shout out.
And I'm so honored for you all to have me here. And I would like to share some of my story with you all and where my background comes from, being related in relationships and hanging out with Tupac or meeting Tupac and things like that. I want to come out forward so everyone to know that I'm not Lisa Ray.
Yeah, I thought
I've been in hiding for a long time. People have been looking for me. And I decided to come out and let everybody know I am the young lady, Brenda, that did the notorious video with Tupac Shakur. Ethel Love, a.k.a. you can call me Brenda.
I'm going to call you Brenda.
Happy to have you on the platform, man. So, out of curiosity, where you from?
I'm originally from Richmond, California. I grew up in the hood, you know, the neighborhood. In my neighborhood, how it was, you know, you can walk down the block knowing that you could get shot. But I love my neighborhood. I rep Richmond all day long.
Yeah, she still look young.
The Bay Area that everybody
loves,
the Gay area.
How you felt when it came out?
I had my two parents in the house. I grew up with my parents.
How everything was when it came out?
My mother and father. My father was a preacher kid. I was a preacher. I'm a preacher kid. We could have secular music inside the house, you know. However, you know, music was part of me, part of our lifestyle, because, you know, in church, that's what you get, music and things like that. My mother, she was kind of terminally ill, you know, growing up.
Aww.
So it was hard on me as a child, in my household as well, knowing that she's in and out the hospital, and, you know, it's just, you know, it's rough out there, you know, in that area, and growing up in the inner city. And I could say I was middle class, but still in the hood. You know, I didn't want for nothing. My parents provided for us pretty good, I would say. I have brothers, you know, they older brothers, so they was always overprotective and overbearing. You know, so they didn't want you to walk around the neighborhood.
I don't know why girls were doing that, though.
We lived next door to a park, so couldn't hang at the park too long. It was park hours. But like I said, I love Richmond. I rep Richmond all day long. That's my neighborhood.
Right. So before you did Brenda's Got a Baby, did you know Tupac prior to that?
I knew of Tupac because he hung out with my brother. Well, my brother had a great relationship. My brother was into the arts as well, writing music, poetry, and things like that. So Tupac started coming around.
So you know seeing this?
Doing music, walking around with his notebook, sitting observing and looking around. And I'm like, who is this new guy?
who is this guy? Is he just sitting here with this book? And my brother, well, that's Tupac. He's a new upcoming artist. He's gonna, he's gonna be an artist. Around them days, everybody was trying to be a rapper. You had kids in the street yard, in junior high school, battling, rapping against each other and stuff. So everybody was coming up being an upcoming rapper. Everybody walk around the neighborhood dancing and capping on each other, rapping. So Tupac was one of the people that's coming around doing those type of things. So he was always sitting there quiet. So I knew him and knew of him, but he was more so my brother's friend.
So when Tupac was hanging around your family and he was hanging around your brother, did you have any interactions with him personally?
Just cordial conversation. When you see somebody, hello, how you doing, Tupac? What you doing today? What you writing in that book? Just normal conversation. What you'll do as a neighborhood friend. Not nothing extra. Like, oh, Tupac, you doing this and that. No, I wasn't that type of person. But cordially, because he was a good friend of my brother, so I welcomed him into my heart, into my, my home as well as my brother friend. That's how I looked at it.
So, Brenda's Got a Baby, how did you get the lead role for that video?
Well, I was chosen for the lead. Tupac already knew that he wanted me to do the video because, like I said, he was friends with my brothers and them, and they, hung around each other and did things with each other. My brothers and them traveled with him and things like that. So the story was told to me that when he read the article of of Brenda, the story of Brenda, the article, he told my brother he was going to ask me to play in the video, and that one day your sister's going to be really famous off of this song I'm writing.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
What? Your ass famous, boy. That shit, hold on. Oh yeah, your ass famous. I know you from Brenda. You know what I'm saying? Legendary. Your ass gonna be famous 40 years later. You know what I'm saying?
Originally, I don't believe that song was on the list to be on part of his album. He had changed and took one of the songs off and put another song in. I think it was Brenda Got a Baby. Because he had already, finished up his album supposedly. And I believe that was told to me that he changed it up and said, I want to write this article. Look at this article, you guys. I'm going to write a song about this. And I thought that was
I
nice,
ain't seen a paper in a long time.
to change up. Because he, Trap. I like this song, Trap. And Tupac was coming around
you did? I appreciate
with his music, trying to enlighten what was
if
going
you did,
on
I
in the
appreciate
hood.
you.
Things that you wasn't talking about. Everybody talking about, dope dealing and getting a nice car. And, he was thinking about really what's going on in the hood, the core of the hood, what people wasn't talking about. You're not talking about how the young man was trapped and how us young men now still to this day still feel.
I want to wind that part what she said.
He was thinking about really what's going on in the hood, the core of the hood, what people wasn't talking about. You're not talking about how the young man was trapped and how us young men now still to this day still feel trapped and getting chose and looked at as you're a thug, you're a criminal. We can have them come walk down the block because the neighborhood we came from, it was a drug neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So you would get picked on when you could have been a good student. Or like Tupac, he was quiet. He didn't really say nothing. He was just walking around with the kids. You would get picked on in the neighborhood by the police, and it's still happening to this day. And that what made Tupac stand out when he did come to me and ask me about the video. Yeah, that what stood out because I
just want to dive on this real quick for my new subscribers and shit. They ain't seen this shit before.
I heard him, and then part-time mother.
Shout out, my girl Shot Rat
that song as
telling
well. Me. My brother would share that song with me as well. And Trapped, yeah.
How old was you when you did Brenda's Got a Baby?
I was 17. That was in 92. I was 17, January 92.
Damn, I was 1 year old. I was born in 91.
I sure was. Going on 18 in the next couple of months. Yep.
So you didn't have to audition for the video. Tupac already knew he wanted you to do it and everything.
Yes. Tupac knew that he wanted me to do the video already. He already knew plans of what, he had cast in his mind and what idea he wanted to do. From what I know of, my brothers have shared with me. You know, he didn't personally come to me and say, "Well, I want to choose you, and I'm doing this song." You know, he shared that with my brothers now, and they also shared it with me when it, you know, once everything he passed away and all that type of stuff. They shared more in detail of, you know, he picked you for the song, and he knew that you would do a good part playing out the story he had. I was like, wow, that was interesting. I would have liked to know all that detail, you know, before you passed away. However, you know, it worked out the way it did by me finding out. And I'm honored, you know, I'm still honored and humbled.
So tell me about it, man. Brenda's got a baby being on set. Just give me a detailed account of how it was on set, and you know, just tell me about it.
On set, I was the star. They treated me like a star, you know.
She said she fit the window.
You know how you back in those days, you usually just read the magazines.
She look good.
How stars would act. Like, I need my water. I want to make sure I have cocktail and stuff like that. They rolled out the carpet for me.
Oh, this 5 years old.
Like I was just.
She 51 now. I think she had to be 44. I mean 40 something. Yeah, she 44. Okay, but yeah, this 5 years old. Almost, I just want to bring down like y'all. If y'all want to watch the full video, it's called "Brenda Got a Baby." At the breaks of silence 30 years later, and reveal the shocking detail. Y'all want to watch that on y'all own personal time.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. Y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug life, nigga?
You say you're only 3 years older than me? Yeah. We getting old now. But like me, I like all this music and all these legendary artists I missed out on, bro. That I really didn't get the chance to know. Cause this is the farthest I'm gonna get to know about Tupac, like far as like interviews and, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. I couldn't see him in like real life, like concert wise and shit. Can't never get that damn experience. I wish I would've got that experience though.
It's right around the time Pac got incarcerated in early '95. Ever since Cube got close with Dub C and Mac.
We need to bring out real woman. That real woman right there. You know what I'm saying? Matt, I need to go back. That real woman right there. You know what I'm saying? We don't got them too many women like her. That real woman. Natural. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing natural. Yes, sir. You tell she got the hell goddamn with the swoop on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She got that little soft voice. Yes, sir.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug life? Y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug life, nigga?
You said I was 13 in 1991? Yeah, twin. Shit. Yeah, I was just born. I was born in September. I was born when Tupac died, though. He died on my birthday, so every year on my birthday. So I'm gonna do a birthday stream too. A birthday stream for y'all Tupac Day. Cause he died on my birthday.
10.
Well, it's the dog. Bringing out the smoke. Got my whole gut is gangster. Dying at a click.
This was the same song on which West Side Connection dissed Common. So Pac knew about the existence of it, since he wanted to battle Common. But the problem Pac had with Cube wasn't him calling himself the Don, but once you claim to be the Don of a whole coast, you're indirectly implying that everyone else on that coast is lower than you in hierarchy.
You said, I'm glad you get to create this channel. Fans can get to know. Yeah, that's the purpose of the channel. You know what I'm saying? Most of my shit about Tupac, but about hip hop. I'm gonna do more hip hop on other artists, but mostly about Tupac, man. Cause everybody got the perception of Tupac. Cause all they be seeing, like the media even to this day, media be betraying him as a thug nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's all he's about, shooting motherfuckers, gang banging and all that shit, man. No, hell no. Y'all gotta see the real side. The side I fell in love when I heard that Dear Mama. That when I fell in love with Tupac as an artist. Like, and I started to read up on him and shit. Like that Dear Mama, that shit touched me, cause that shit, you know what I'm saying? When you going through stuff with your family and shit, that shit hit you different, bro. Like that shit still made me cry today. I hear that Dear Mama, I'm about to cry. Shit, throwback memories, bro. Cause you can tell that he said that shit from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Lele.
Meaning that Cube is the #1 rapper on the West, and that Tupac has to bow down, even though he's the highest selling and most hyped rapper at that moment in time.
Bow down. Cause I ain't a hater like you. Bow down to a killer that's greater than you.
I bow down respectfully, not bow down to them as men or as performers, but as elders. Like, that's like if you see any old mob coming, you know what I mean? Get that to your table before you give me a table. Let him in before you let me in, because I do know I'm the Don there. But I know if I'm not the Don, I want that respect, because that to be the Don at one point means you had to have something. If they diss me, I would have dissed them.
Tupac, of course, had a problem with that. He thought first he tried to sabotage his song, got in between him and Yo-Yo, and now he tries to come at him like this, even though they're friends. While all his other friends are happy that he's finally out of prison and are reaching out to him to show love. Cube wasn't always like this. Rapping the West almost like a gang, ready for confrontation, participating in intercoastal wars. That
you what? Damn, tweet. Well, I'm glad you with us today. You alright, man. I hope you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing that now, is you? If you ain't doing that now, then I'm glad you with us. You will, you know what I'm saying? You in there live with us. You know what I'm saying? Turn your life around. You know what I'm saying? On the good path. If that makes sense to you. What somebody say? Thug life or some punk as you said. Tupac is garbage. He thinks a crack friend is a black queen. What the fuck do they even mean, twin?
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What time niggas a thug life? What time niggas a thug life, nigga?
He said, so wow, so Q killed Tupac? Killed Pac? Hell no. Me too.
Only started with West Side Connection. Cause when Tim Dog dissed Tim and the West Coast on the song F Compton in 1991, he didn't even respond. Even though it was direct and not a subliminal diss like Common's song I Used to Love Her, for example. Pac was wondering why he didn't make a song like Bow Down and rap his coast before the media blew up the whole East-West conflict due to the beef between the labels Death Row and Bad Boy. When people like Tim Dog dissed him and made fun of the West Coast, he was as quiet as a church mouse, even though he was lyrically able to respond, like he did against NWA with No Vaseline. And now all of a sudden he strikes back at everyone for only mentioning the West Coast and for sharing their opinions without trying to diss them. After leaving his group in December '89, Cube actually collaborated with a lot of artists and producers on the East Coast. His debut album America's Most Wanted was produced by the Bomb Squad, which is a New York production team known for their work with the rap group Public Enemy. And after all those years of profiting from the East Coast, all of a sudden, without a reason that you can point to, like Pac's shooting at the Quad Studios in New York for example, Cube starts dissing the same coast that helped him to get back on his feet after leaving NWA. At least that's how Pac saw it. Cube wasn't directly dissing the East, he was just defending the West Coast. They were directly dissing A Tribe Called Quest on the song Cross Him Out and Put a K, which came out after Tupac died. And the song Bow Down was more of a anti-everyone type of song, unlike Hit 'Em Up, which was mainly anti-East Coast. Bow Down was more of a catchy West Coast anthem, and not really a diss song. It was just weird for Pac to see Cube on the cover of the Source magazine putting up the W, and then to hear Bow Down, a pro-West, anti-everyone type of song, with his homies supporting him just like the Outlaws supported Pac. That same summer Hit 'Em Up came out. Cube was battling Cypress Hill, Common, A Tribe Called Quest, everyone who tried to diss the West Coast. So just like Pac, Cube was in war mode. It felt like he was planning to battle everybody. And that's what got Pac confused, since he was the one that was portrayed as the guy who stepped up to battle everyone, take on a whole coast on his own. You could get the impression that one is trying to mimic the other. Not only that, but Pac was also convinced that the song Bow Down was a rehash or at least inspired by his song Hit 'Em Up. But Mac 10 from Westside Connection denied it, saying that they were quote-unquote too into what they were doing.
Hey, for the Mars stream, well, you say today, but Mars, for 412 stream, I'm gonna do a my reactions to, like, I want to see reactions from like new people who never heard of Tupac. They reaction to Dear Mama. I know there's a whole bunch of them on YouTube. They first reaction to Tupac or whatever song. They first reaction to Tupac. I think I'm gonna react with y'all live on live. I think I want to do that for the next stream. Like, see people saying reacting to like Dear Mama or one of Tupac songs for the first time and get their intake on it of Tupac, what they think of Tupac so far. That's gonna be for the next stream.
And didn't even care about what Hit 'Em Up or any other record sounded like. Bow Down came out in August 96. Hit 'Em Up on June 4th. So on the surface it looks like Westside Connection copied them. But Bow Down was recorded in 1995. You could make the argument that it was still possible for them to copy Hit 'Em Up, since the original version was recorded on October 31st, 1995. Assuming that Cube heard the original version and then recorded Bow Down. But they had no contact and weren't in the studio together. And they were defending the West Coast before Pac came out of prison. So Cube did not bite Hit 'Em Up like Pac claims.
All you suckers wanna diss the Pacific, but you busted never get specific. But if you living on the west side of your town, make them other fools bow down.
Pac thought Cube was trying to take some of his shine during the whole East-West move, as he was viewed as the face of the West Coast at the time. And now, all of a sudden, we have Cube calling himself the West Coast Don, who's quote-unquote running everything west to Mississippi. Tupac had just recorded his Machiavelli the Don Illuminati album.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah!
I had to do that real quick.
The Don was written on the album cover, so he thought people might start accusing him of biting Cube and the whole Don thing, cause Cube had used it before him, but not as frequently.
Cube the Don.
Just like the whole thing about the West Side sign and also the bandana, Tupac wanted the Don title for himself, just like the word thug, outlaw, MOB, and all the other words that people connect with Tupac. He wanted everybody to think about him when using the word Don, or when using the word thug life. He actually started beefing with people for using his terms. Like, for example, when Nas used the word thug. Pac called him out on that on the original version of the song When Thugs Cry.
You talking about when what's the recipes to Yummy? What's it called? Yummy? That's crazy, bro. Yeah, you talking about when you cross it, yeah. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, so what next stream? I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do that interview first. I think I'm gonna start the stream off of that interview. Then we're gonna do reactions from people that never listened to Tupac. They first time listening to Tupac. We're gonna do that. I wanna see what people think. You know what I'm saying? 2026 or whenever they made the video.
Bye. Not only that, but he also called him out for rapping about getting shot.
Let me see. I'm gonna go back, y'all. I think they got a lot of them. Hold on, Tupac. Okay, we got one for 3 months ago. Okay, we got another streamer. So tragic, Tupac. What she did? Oh, she did In a Time. Oh yeah, we gotta see this one. Okay, her first reaction to Tupac until y'all know what I'm talking about. I be trying to talk fast sometimes. Okay, what we got? Everybody did until the end of time. That's my shit though. Okay, we got her. Okay, we got Hit 'Em Up. Oh, she crying. Okay, we gotta do her. So Many Tears. Oh, she did my favorite song. They first time reacting to So Many Tears. They did this 3 weeks ago. Damn. Okay, so we got some new people that they first time reacting to Tupac ever in 2026. They crying and shit. We gotta have to do that. Okay, they did multiple. Oh, they did Brenda Got a Baby. Damn, she did crying like a motherfucker. A conditional Lord first time reaction. Okay. Said dad couldn't quit crying. Changes. Okay, they did changes. Yeah, we gonna I think that'll be an interesting stream tomorrow. To watch everybody, all these people from different races and everything. Damn, what the fuck am I right there? How the fuck I get right here? Okay, this Dear Mama. Damn, they did it too much. Everybody ain't heard until the end of time. I never heard Tupac reaction. Two Americans Wanted. Yeah, we gonna do that tomorrow. Yeah, recipe Yummy, bro. That's crazy. I forgot the story on Yummy. What that motherfucker, that little kid was killing like a motherfucker. I don't know all the backstory on it. I don't know the backstory. Matter of fact, let me go ahead. Tupac Yummy. Damn, he was 11 years old. Please don't got music in.
He is probably the saddest.
Nah, they got music. Fuck. That nigga was 11 years old killing motherfucker. If I can get one without no fucking music. Oh, no, man, they got too much music. Fucking. That's crazy. Motherfucker, 11 years old, killing motherfucker. That's crazy. Chicago, y'all different, bro. Y'all different out there, bro. But I'm in the stream right here. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
Baby, double stream, man. Double stream, y'all. I appreciate everybody came through. Shout out to the new subscribers. Shout out to my people that were training in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? Thug Life, we stick together, baby. We strong, baby. We all came together tonight. They made my night right, though. You know what I'm saying? We gonna keep the movement. We gonna keep his name alive. We gonna keep all his memory. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Bring all us together, man.
What type niggas a thug like? Y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug like, nigga?
Feel you on that, twin. I appreciate you coming here to share your part of your story, bro. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, bro. I really appreciate that. But I hope y'all see our next stream. It's gonna be Tupac reaction. First time they reacting to Tupac. Hope y'all come through here. You had a good time? I'm glad you had a good time, man. I had a good time too. Now I gotta do these damn shorts and shit. Let's see how we did. Appreciate it. We had 28K in here tonight. Damn, y'all can't even see it. Appreciate it. We had 28,000 people in here today. I appreciate y'all. There you go. Appreciate y'all. We locked in, twin. I'll see y'all next stream, man. Make sure y'all check my. If you new to the channel, please like and subscribe to the channel. I will be posting. Well, I'll be what time I'm streaming this. I always stream like 11 p.m. But I gotta make these shorts real quick. Cause we had some funny moments. I gotta clip these funny moments and post them. I enjoyed everybody.
Don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug like? Don't forget that shit. What type niggas a thug like, nigga?
You said what time do they start? Oh, I start at 11 p.m. I want to start earlier though, but I work second shift, so I get off at like 10, and I try to hurry up and goddamn get on by 11 o'clock. What's up, Sarah? How you doing? Sorry you had to come in to end the stream. They got a 2000 Death Row album. Hold on, we gonna check that out. I ain't know they had that, son. Put it back up here. You said 2000? Who's on it? respect the album, man. This it right here.
Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas is thug life? What type niggas is thug life, nigga? Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type niggas is thug life, nigga?
It says 2 Gangsta for radio. I appreciate you. I'm gonna listen to it.